Today is January 7th, 2018. Could I have everybody go ahead and turn their cell phones off today, if we could? I'm the main one, so I'll turn it off. All right. We've been pretty good about starting our meetings on time. It looks like we're 2 minutes into it, so I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Tipicani, could you please do a roll call?
William Nelson.
Here.
Susan Costner. Robert Tipicani here. Jonathan Pilloway. Here. Eddie Odyssey.
Here.
Ronald Red Elk.
Here.
Clyde Narcomin. Here. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. This morning, I'd like for Miss Georgia, do you mind giving us an invocation this morning? We got some folks that have had a tragedy. We're going to have a prayer service on Sunday night, a funeral on Monday. It's the Clark family, if you can mention them in this prayer. Different ones that are having struggles today. If you could talk to them and ask our Father for that. If you could lead us in an invocation, Georgia.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you, before you, and thank you for all that you have given us. I thank you, God, for being a part of all of this, being a part of the tribe. Dear God, as I do every day, I thank you. Dear God, there are people that are suffering in our tribe, and we hold them up to you that you will bless them and take care of them during this hard time for them. And bless us all, dear God, for the rest of the day. Take care of us and let you know that we love you, we praise you. In God's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, ma'am. All right. We do have some minutes here. But before we do that,
Chairman?
yes.
Could I have a short period of time to get something off my chest?
I so recognize it, sir. We are legal quorum today. Go right ahead.
I see that we've got a extensive agenda, so I'll try to be brief. Marelweka namana, samoyet namana, sik dabeni atilweka, bibitsi tilweka, napihitsa dekwad, ke nakuitzait, ke I nasukat, ke resa ke nani panait. Respect. Respect is a two-way street. How many times have I been disrespected since that Tuesday when certification of the election took place? One, when the 5+1 decided to ignore the Constitution. Article 9, Section 1. 2, when the June CBC monthly meeting was canceled. No indication to me. 3, when the 5+1 went live stream. All of those I knew nothing about. Disrespect on a personal matter I can handle. But disrespect shown to the seat number 3 of the CBC cannot and should not be tolerated. I have not been able to represent the 666 Namana that voted for me, plus the 17,000 Namana that I gave an oath to. I would like to read that oath. Solemnly affirm before Almighty God and mankind that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Comanche Nation and will carry out faithfully and impartially the duties of my office to the best of my ability and will promote and protect the best interests of the Comanche Nation in accordance with the tribal constitution. I was not able to represent those people during this time. That seat number 3 was disrespected by the Fab Five, as I call them, Fab Five plus 1. Now, where did I get the plus 1? On that Tuesday evening, when we were to certify the election results, and it changed from that certification to violating the Constitution, not once did our legal counsel say, CBC, this might be illegal. This might be against the Constitution. Not once. I asked about the legality of it. But I didn't argue with them because to me, I perceived that this decision was made prior to the meeting. And that's out of order completely. I would like to read Article 5, Section 9, to represent the tribe in legal matters. And that evening, our council did not give us legal advice. I knew this matter would go through the courts, and if the court system was legitimate, it would be overthrown. I knew that. I can read. I know what it says in the Constitution. This matter of educational requirements, I'm for. But it has to be amended into the Constitution. And for whatever reason, these 5 jeopardized their integrity by throwing us into what we are today. I would like to say that I want the election to go through for chairmanship, vice chairmanship, tribal administrator, legal counsel. All 4 of those should be on the ballot. The tribal council is all 18-year-old and older. They should have the decision on whether we want the current TA and the current legal counsel. Personally, I don't want the legal counsel that won't give me good legal advice. In closing, I want to give you the translations for some of this Comanche that I threw out there at you. Dainumalekwa puhakat. Our language has power. And those old folks knew that it had power. Pardon me. Ke nakutsait. Ke ai nasukat. Ke resa ke maku nani panait. Not to feel hate, but to care for each other. Not to brag. I said that I'm speaking from the heart in the beginning. And that's how I feel. And hopefully, at least 4 for sure will be working together. And if we can't do that, we're going to have a hard time. Yes, we have our differences, but legally, here's where we do business, not out here someplace. Legally, we need you folks to keep us straight. And it has to be in a legally called quorum meeting. Suvetama, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Red Elk. With that said, we're going to go on ahead and move to the approval of the minutes. We did have a special meeting in April, and that special meeting was with the charter. So if you guys can look over those minutes, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Red Elk. I think we all needed to hear that.
This May the 5th meeting?
Yeah, May 5th and May 17th. Really didn't get nothing done in that special meeting. But then again, everything's up for discussion.
Do you have copies of those minutes available today?
Ma'am, if you request it, I imagine Julia can get that for you. I'm pretty sure she
Julia,
could.
can you get those for me today?
Y'all, our Bill of Rights says he requested we do it. It does look like we have 22 resolutions. So, Amber Hedge, on your executive session and enrollment, I believe we need to go on ahead and have that in open session. Okay? Due to the fact people that want to address or redress actions that's done here have no place for a petition, which is pretty strange. But we do have a petition ordinance passed by the late Johnny Walkway when he was chairman, and we ought to just go status quo. And Dennis, Wemavoya, were these items for private? Is it private?
The only one that really would be on the country accounts and something like a lease. The other ones are continuing negotiation and index condition.
Okay. All right. Somebody could entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May meeting and the May special meeting. Could somebody bring that motion forward?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the May
Okay.
meeting and the May 17th meeting.
Motion made by Poway. Need a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Red Elk. All those in favor of approving these minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Tipicani, we had some amends we were talking to.
Yes.
If the business committee will go to resolution number 10218, law enforcement speed limit, Lori Tatum Road. Kiowa Chairman Kamalti, Apache Chairman Comartley would like to be involved with that because below that road is KCA property. So we are meeting on July 11th, which is Wednesday. Vern? Yes, sir. If you could be there, that'd be good. And we'll discuss it there. Then we'll go to what the resolution will speak to there. Yes,
Question?
sure.
Okay, I understand the KCA is not a government.
Well, understand that land is the KCA Land Use Committee.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So that's tabled.
Yep. Okay, and also on resolution number 11218, gaming compact. Wait a minute. CBC back taxes. Speaking to the Our IRS specialists, and Robert and I went over this. We're going to have to go to more discussion with George Porter at the bank. And CBC, CNGC, I'm glad our ED is here from Comanche Nation Gaming Commission. Looking at the text and all the 300-plus pages, we can't do one without affecting page 301 or page 15 or page 28. So we're going to have to come to a round table on that one, if that's okay. All right. So, Mr. Tippecanoe, being the Secretary-Treasurer, could you call for these three mentioned to be tabled for us to vote on?
Yes. We will table 102-18, 111-18, 113-18, and I'll just call for a vote on that.
Okay. Vote's been called. I'll go ahead. Parliamentary rule says Chairman can't do a second, so I'll second that. So all those in favor to table these three, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Also, I'd like to amend the agenda. I'd like to come to motion 0707, and I got to bring this forward, and it's got to be impartial. I am the chair, so I'm going to recognize this, and it is a legal quorum meeting, and I will read it as such. Motion 0707. Therefore be it, as a March 2018 monthly meeting, the Business Committee adopted Comanche Nation Election Policy of 2018. That was in March of 2018. Comanche Nation Election Policy of 2018 provides that whenever there are two or more candidates running for an elective position, then a runoff election is proper if no candidate in any general election receives at least 50% plus one vote of the votes cast. Election policy. It is a statute, 603. The runoff election will comprise of two candidates with the highest vote totals in the primary election. Shall appear on the ballot in a runoff election. Comanche Nation Election Policy, Statute 603 again. A candidate is defined as a person having the appropriate qualification and is considered for a political office or an official position. The Comanche Nation Court should be relieved of third-party review on this matter. Comanche Nation Election Policy, Statute 802. Burden of candidate to sustain protest. The candidate challenging the election results must prove by clear, convincing evidence that Comanche Nation election policy violated one or more material provisions of this election policy, or otherwise conducted said election in a manner that said candidate's ability to win was severely prejudiced. The administrator candidate and attorney candidate would have this right to protest, which will further delay this runoff. And be it finally resolved, the Business Committee that adopted Comanche Nation Election Policy of 2018, this group right here, does call for the immediate runoff election of chairman, vice chairman, administrator, and attorney on Saturday, July 28th, 2018. That is the motion. I do need a second, and I do need a voice vote by our Secretary-Treasurer.
I'll second that, Chairman.
Seconded by Mr. Red Elk. Please call for the vote, sir.
You made the motion.
I did.
Susan's not here.
Yes, she is.
She came in.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Good morning. Susan Cothran,
No.
Robert Tippecanoe. I have to read this. Excuse me. I want to read it for everyone in just a minute. Be it finally resolved, the Business Committee that adopted Comanche Nation Election Policy of 2018 does call for the immediate runoff election of chairman, vice chairman, administrator, and attorney on Saturday, 2018. You know, I would have a question before we proceed on the vote, if that's okay. You made the motion, is that?
I would go ahead and go with the vote to see if people that pass ordinances can't follow them. If anybody needs a copy of this, please come up and get one. I see a candidate back there, Mr. Billy Earl. Come forward, sir. Come have it, ma'am. There's no private information here. This is your CBC meeting. Yeah. Either we pass ordinances and follow them, or we're just up here lying to ourselves. And that's what this motion is
My
about.
opinion on this, that I vote no, for the simple reason, it's in
Sir,
court
the
now,
vote
just
is
like it
being
was
handled by
before.
the
It was in court before,
Secretary Treasurer.
and we waited
You're
till the
not
court
recognized,
decided,
sir.
and this
You are
is-
not recognized, sir.
This is the same situation
You are not
here.
recognized,
We're
sir.
waiting for the court to decide.
You are not recognized.
Otherwise, we're gonna have an election, then we're gonna have, if the court does something else, we're gonna have another election. It's gonna cost you people money.
Well, you already wanted
And the
that
deal
second
is,
election.
wait till the court decides. I agree with the court.
We're
That's why-
relieving the
that's why
court
we
of that
established it.
decision to
Let
follow the
court decide
ordinance.
And see what happens. Let the court decide, and then we have our
A
election.
motion and a
What's
second
the
is
hurry?
done. A
We
motion
just
and
wanna
a
do it
second
right.
is done.
That's all it is to it.
A motion and second is done. We will see if this business committee that adopted election policy of 2018 in March does not want to follow that election policy
I
today.
vote no.
Well,
It's not a matter of
you
following
adopted it. You adopted it. Please follow
We
it.
did adopt it, but there was not a court and there wasn't people taking people to court at that time, so things have changed.
Not really.
Yes, they have.
Ma'am,
You ought to know, you were
you
the
lost
first
the
one to put a
election,
court
ma'am.
date.
I don't even know why you're here. Your processes
Because
are
I love the
over.
You say you follow the Constitution.
Your processes, go ahead, Ms.
You
McDaniels.
say you follow the Constitution.
Well, you're not following the Constitution in a lot of different ways, but that court was established that if you guys can't solve it,
There you go. Yes.
and that's your job, is to lead and to take care of business, but since you can't do it, then that's why you got to go to that court. Then he's the one that's got to determine what's right and what's wrong and whether you're following this or not. You're the one that's wasting our money because you can't make up your mind. You can't follow the law.
That's not true. We
Yes,
did-
it is true.
We did
You're
make
in-
up our
you know,
mind, and this man
Susan, you
here
really
followed
need to
and went
step
the
down
court.
because you're
Yeah.
the one that's in the biggest
No.
violation of our Constitution.
No, that's not right.
Nepotism. Your family works for the tribe.
They
And all you
said
people,
housing, and it doesn't fall under the tribe.
no, it does fall under the tribe.
Other people work.
This, it
All right.
does fall under the tribe.
Eleanor,
We're not here to
Eleanor,
argue, we're here to
Eleanor, we do
discuss.
have a
Well,
motion.
you know,
Nothing
solve
else.
this
Nothing else.
thing.
We're trying.
No, you're not. You're
Yes, we
arguing.
are. No.
And you want to take it over to the court.
Y'all
You
listen
people
to
right
one
here,
person.
you people right here need to
Y'all
take
listen
care of
to
it.
one
It
person.
shouldn't even go to that court. Y'all just causing trouble.
As
Causing-
it states in the entire election policy, follow it. And it states that that administrator and that attorney are candidates. And they did not win by 50% plus one. Then it also tells that this group, if they're disenfranchised, once this election is done for chairman and vice chairman, they can protest it and delay it further. That's their right, because they were prejudiced. They were.
That's the reason we set up that court, because if you read the Constitution, for the last 30, 40 years, every time there's an election, every time there's something, there's always confusion. The Constitution is full of confusion. That's why until we straighten it out, that's why we wanted the court system, because the Constitution is confusing. So that's why we got the
It's
court
not
system,
confusing.
because any
You just need
decision
to abide
that
by it.
CBC makes,
The
you
amendments,
people
the-
can take it to the
Yeah.
court
You
system.
people.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about. We're not trying to do anything crooked. You can take it to the court system and see if we're doing it wrong.
We'd like-
You
You're
don't-
already
Don't
crooked.
be griping and hollering.
we'd like to
It's not
call
gonna
for
serve
this-
anything.
we'd like to call for this
Take it to the court
vote.
system. That's what
You
we
need to
do.
go to court.
We need
sent the
order-
person
You need to go to court and prove
We
that
sent one
you
to the
are
court
in
system
violation
again.
of nepotism.
We'll wait until the court.
That's why you need to go to court.
Wait till the court
Take your
decides
money away from the
before we have
people
the
you should
election.
We will have order,
Yeah.
order.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one vote. One vote is Catherine,
Let me go
no.
down the way you listed it here.
Okay?
CBC number 1, Johnny Polway.
No.
CBC number 2, Eddie Odyssey.
No.
CBC, and I think you voted already, Ron. Red out.
Yes.
CBC 4, Clyde Narkamy.
No.
Secretary Treasurer Tipicani, yes. Vice Chair Catherine,
No.
and you're not voting.
Right. All right, so this is my last ditch effort. So Rosette Law Firm, they are in the court system. They filed. John David Wanee, he's in the court system. He filed. I was wanting to relieve the court of that third-party decision due to the fact that we have an actual ordinance, and we're not actually following it. So, people, the ordinance, in my opinion, when you disenfranchise it, then guess what? It's no good. The amendments, were they compromised? Yes, they were. Article 5.5. Did anybody have a place to redress or address this entire election? No. No. So it's compromised. So we have an ordinance, we have amendments compromised, and I do hope to God, when this election is over, we strike these things out of the book forever, because it's a blight on what's right and what's wrong.
Well,
With that-
Mr. Chairman, I have to say this motion did not pass.
Okay. Well, I would like to call for this committee, since you're in legal quorum and not secret meetings and secret certifications, that we call for the vote of the runoff for Saturday, July 28th, for the chairman and vice chair position. We take that action today before we do anything else. This election is going on and on and on, forever-ending story.
Well, that's what happened before when you became.
Well, it is Saturday, July 28th, 2018. I'm calling for the runoff election of the chairman position and the vice chair position.
How many times did we vote the last time before you?
That
became
is
chair?
what I'd like to put on this table today.
I mean, we're doing the same thing. I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before, that it went on for a long time.
Sure.
So
The
what do we
court
actually-
did order. The court did order. They ordered for the chairman and vice chairman runoff to happen. And I'm calling for that, what the court ordered. That's what they ordered. And I'm calling for that today, for that to happen. Now, the administrator in the attorney position, it'll probably come to, what, another election? If the court orders so. So we went to third-party review because nothing could be solved here. Mr. Red Elk mentioned that, what he had to say at the start of this meeting. Mr. Red Oak and I have been totally disenfranchised from 5 people wanting to meet in close quarters, or 4 people. That is true. We have not been called. I'm the chairman. I'm supposed to preside at all meetings. The Constitution is sound. I have not been called.
How many meetings have you walked out of? That you
Because
were in?
they were unconstitutional. That's not the matter. I've got the motion on the floor. The motion, no, because it's unconstitutional. I'll put my war shirt on and battle anybody that goes against our Comanche Constitution, and I'll walk out. You betcha. If it's unconstitutional, I'm not there. That is my motion on the floor for Saturday, July 28, 2018, for the chairman and vice chairman election to happen, runoff. I please need a second for us to get some semblance of sanity within our nation. Ma'am, you are going to have to really watch what you say.
Okay.
All of us
Please.
should watch what we say. I vote no.
It's not even been seconded yet.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I second that.
All right. All those in favor for a runoff? July 28th, Saturday. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let's go to a voice vote. And what are you all waiting on? What are you waiting on? The court ordered it. I guess I'll go to the court. Can you
There's
issue a
two
citation?
interventions that have been filed too.
The court already ordered on one item.
Well,
They
let's
have-
vote, let's vote and quit talking, let's vote. We got a lot of stuff to do here.
Well, then vote.
That's what I say, let us vote and then let the people vote.
Could you read back my motion, please?
All those in favor for the runoff July 28th, Saturday, please signify by saying aye.
Okay. Seconded by Mr. Redout. Could you call for a voice vote on that?
Okay. Clyde Narkemy? No. Ron Redout?
Yes,
Eddie Odyssey?
no,
Jonathan Polway?
No.
Robert Tipicani? No. Susan Cawthorn?
No.
The motion failed.
Donnell?
I have a question as to the 5 of you that don't agree. Why are you here?
Exactly.
We put you all here because we put our trust in your word, and yet y'all come up here. You were put here to do work for the tribe, not for yourself. Where is the respect you have for the people that put you in those seats that y'all sit in today? To gather the money that y'all gather every month in that chair that you sit in, that you took an oath to serve the people. Where is all that? You guys are just like a bunch of clowns. You don't even know what's going on. And you're dragging the rest of us in with you. Where's the respect that you have for these people that put you there today? When we hear the roll call and they say, here, Clyde, Eddie, here, is that so we could know where to pass your per diem check? And whatever else money you're getting? These people out here need answers. I would like to have answers, but we can't get it when you sit there like a bump on a log. Have respect for these people that put you there.
Thank you, Donnell.
since you're speaking of respect, let me say one thing.
And you're the
You
main
never heard
one.
me.
You're the
Let me
main one.
finish.
You are the main
You're always
one.
talking out of
Shut your
line.
mouth. We don't need
Let
to
me
hear
And you
finish.
don't know
Well, you talk
anything
out of
about
turn
the
all the time.
Constitution.
I'll let you talk.
Okay, with
The
that,
deal is.
with that said,
Respect. I never said anything
the-
about anybody on this board in public.
But you're not.
You never
doing
seen
your
me.
job.
Like some people on here board speak out against us. I never speak out against anyone.
Right.
You look and see. You look and see in all the records we have. Did I ever speak out against anyone? No.
Yes, you
And I'm not going to. My job is one person up here, and I said it when I got elected, that I represent all the people.
You didn't
All
get
my
elected.
decisions are
All
for
right.
all the people.
Mr. Odyssey, you're
for
not
a few
running for
people.
office right
Not for a few
now. Everybody, let's have decorum. We're gonna go right to the meeting. I wanted to make sure, hey, do we do what the court says? I asked that. Okay, I asked that we do the election ordinance. I asked that. So it's on the record. Comanche people living abroad, I know you feel so disenfranchised. Do know that if you did have a notary for your actual request for ballot, it is kept in a permanent book. You don't have to notarize again. Please, this is a very important election. One day it will come to actual solution, actual result. But please, contact 877-492-4988. Make your request for ballot known. Go through the process. Everybody needs to vote in this election.
Put
And
our
I thank
election
you.
board back.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah.
All right, with that said, let's go to resolution number 9418.
I want to correct the chairman, there is a
You're-
forum for the candidates.
You're out of
Well, that's
order.
the truth.
You're out of order.
I just want to correct you,
You're
to
out
make
of
sure
order.
you know.
Please, you're out of
There
order.
is a forum, the tribal court.
Sir, you're on new
that's
business
the
or old
truth.
business? Okay, you're not. Resolution number 9418. What this is we did not have a quorum in June. A lot of people did not get enrolled. So, I believe stipend checks were cashed, though. All right, let's go to resolution number 9418. Whereas this list includes the names of applicants who have been verified as eligible pursuant to Article 3, Section 1C of the Constitution of the Comanche Nation, which states all descendants of allottees eligible for membership under the provision having an 8th or more degree of Comanche Indian blood. Now therefore be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee accept the verification of eligibility for the applicants as shown on list 1095 by the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office. Be it further resolved, the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office notify the eligible applicant by letter of their approved membership, and further that the enrolled member be provided information concerning their enrollment, including name, date of birth, roll number, social security number, and degree of Comanche blood. Business Committee, we have Ford here. 20 members. Some are from Tennessee, Utah, Texas, Florida, New Mexico, Oklahoma. So Business Committee, before you is resolution number 9418. Please, can somebody entertain a motion to accept resolution number 9418?
I'd like to raise a question.
Sure.
You know, I know we asked them, or we will provide all these matters, date of birth, et cetera.
Yes.
I think it's smart.
Yes?
But I notice more and more we're deleting social security numbers. And maybe we should consider that in the future, because that's something people tap. You know, they're tapping our social security numbers for their interest, and they can steal many things from you by using your social security number. So I'd suggest maybe, Amber, you could look at that and see in the future, if you're okay.
Sure. Our retention and records are so lapsed. We've got 1960 retention on records. We have got to move for a secure, firewalled type of retention. Maybe that day will come. But would somebody entertain a motion to continue?
I make a motion.
Motion made by the Secretary Treasurer. Need a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Red Elk. All those in favor for resolution number 9418, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right. I usually read this out. There are so many, but it is a very important day. It really is. Because I think I got a grandpa here that wants me to read this out. And I'll start at the top here. Larson Evans, Marshall Evans, William Barrett, Evelyn Brannick, Nakona Cantwell, Shania Crank, Remy Davis, Madison Elliott, Caden Esparza, Amelia Hockey, Cephas Raymond Lorenzana, Theodore Pilcher, Cheyenne Lee Pokawatchit Jr. Where's Grandpa? That's the one. Angelique Sapcut, Keegan Sapcut, Ezekiel Yaloa, Ashlyn Walker, Randall Walker, Solomon Ware, and Evelyn Wiaki. We have two that were never enrolled in any other tribe. There's a lot of our folks that sometimes when they're through adoption or living with the family, they don't know until they're later in years. All right, resolution number 9518 is before us. Each applicant named on the attached list, number 1096, is determined to be ineligible for membership with the Comanche Nation because he or she does not meet the nation's constitutional membership requirements. Be it further resolved that each applicant on list number 1096 is officially notified of their rejection for membership, stating the reason for such determination, and including the appropriate appeals provisions. On these three, we had no allottee on record. So this list, number 1096, comes to resolution number 9518. To approve this resolution, I do need a motion.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Secretary Treasurer. Need a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by CBC Red Elk. All those in favor on resolution number 9518, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Now we go to 9618. Miss Amber Heads, is this for the work you've done through the month of June? Okay, ma'am. The documentary evidence on file with the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office and information furnished by each applicant named on list number 1097 does not possess the required 1/8 degree Comanche blood, as provided by Article 3, Section 1C. That each applicant named on the attached list number 1097 is determined to be ineligible for membership, according to the provisions of Article 3, Section 3C of the Comanche Nation Constitution. And we have one person, they did not meet that standard of 1/8. Business Committee, resolution number 9618 does need a motion to continue.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Red Elk. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Tippecanoe. All those in favor of resolution number 9618, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We go to resolution number 9718. The list includes the names of applicants who have been verified as eligible pursuant to Article 3, Section 1C of the Constitution of the Comanche Nation. All descendants of allottees eligible for membership under the provision of Section 1A of the article having an 1/8 or more degree of Comanche Indian blood. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee accept the verification of eligibility for the applicants as shown on list 1098 by the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office. And be it further resolved, the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office notify the eligible applicant by letter of their approved membership, and further that the enrolled member be provided information concerning their enrollment, including name, date of birth, roll number, and what we discussed, social security number, and degree of Comanche blood. Business Committee, I have before you resolution number 9718.
I make motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, seconded by Business Committee to approve resolution number 9718. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And resolution number 9718 has 29 new members. One is a confidence case. We will not read this name. So we'll go with Elizabeth Armstrong, Israel Bearshield, John Bearshield, Chloe Coleman, Dash Eddy, Lauren Imhula, Amarai Gooday, Aubrey Gover, Olive Gray, Megan Hall, Lydia Howry, Mia Hyde, Christian Copati, Leo Copati, Cesario Jesus Morales, John P. Woe IV, ZZ Roy, Zoe Roy, Adriana Roughface, Alejandro Starr, Del Rey Starr, Bobby Starr, Esteban Shaw, Summer Celeste Shaw, Jared Stargell, Kennedy Steiner, Chloe Stevenson, Kate Tate, come on, Rachel Duanipa Tate. All right, that is 49 new members to our nation. Can we give them a hand, please? All right. We go to resolution number 9818. There is documentary evidence on file with the Comanche Nation Enrollment Office verifies that the individual named on list number 1099 wishes to relinquish his membership with the Comanche Nation to be enrolled with the Pawnee Nation. The individual listed on attached list number 1099 is aware that he has given up all rights he may have as a member of the nation, including current and future per capita distributions as a member of the nation. Now therefore be it resolved, the individual listed on the attached list number 1099 be removed from the Comanche Nation's membership roll because of his desire to do so immediately. That the individual on the attached list be officially notified of the automatic withdrawal of his name from the Comanche Nation's membership roll, stating the reason for such withdrawal. Amber, was due diligence done for this person? Okay, all right. Business Committee, what we have here is resolution number 9818. I do need a motion.
Make the motion.
Motion made by Mr. Red Elk, second to continue.
Mr. Red, I made the motion.
Okay. For the record, Mr. Tippecanoe made the motion and Jump Ball, Red Elk got second. So here we go. Resolution number 9818, Business Committee. All those in favor of this, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Those abstain, which is me. All right. Was he accepted? Okay. So he's not just wandering the earth, non-ending. Okay. We go to resolution number 9918. What we got here, Mr. Mr. Transportation Man?
Mr. Chairman, we're requesting to add some routes to the long-range plan for future improvements. Do you need to know where these are?
Just kind of give us a brief synopsis where these are.
Okay, 7146 is in Caddo County. It's to extend the route 1 mile south and 1 mile north for future improvements. 7105 is, let's see which one this is.
Streets and Elm.
Oh, this is to improve streets and parking lots around the Elgin School District. And our concern over that is safety for the tribal students there. They had 290 Comanche students in that district.
Yeah.
And the other one is 7150, and that's in Caddo County. And this it's by the sale barns of Apache. It runs north a mile.
Okay, there's a lot of Indian homes right up there.
Right,
You bet.
there's a Comanche housing there,
Yeah.
and that road is really terrible.
I went to the fireworks show the other night, yeah.
It's really terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you talking about the road going to that road a mile north of Apache, or the road that's
It's right off the highway.
in front of those houses?
Right, in front of those houses.
Just that 1 mile in
1
front of
mile.
the houses?
Yes, that's all we can do. That's
Not the
all.
1 mile leading to the housing?
That's right off of Highway 19. It runs north a mile, right in front of those Comanche homes up there.
So it's 2 miles?
No, it's just 1 mile. 1 mile north of Highway 19. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, right at the cell barn you go.
yeah,
Right.
right, but it's right in front of the houses?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And 7502, this is the same with the Fletcher School, to make it safe for our tribal students. And it's the same as the Elgin. We're doing these two programs, kind of like pilot programs. We're gonna see how they work. If they work out fine, then we're gonna continue to improve the schools. My intentions are Indiahoma School, Walters School. It's to make it safe for our students. It really is.
Yeah.
If you walk out there after a ball game at night and fall in the chug hole, you break a leg, you know?
Yeah.
That's really dangerous.
Thank you,
And that's all-
Adrian.
That's all we have right now.
All right, Adrian, sound like a really good plan, and we're adding this to our transportation improvement plan,
And
which
long-range plan, yes, sir.
you bet, in the long-range plan. So here we go. Now therefore be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee hereby approves the BIA Branch of Transportation, Southern Plains Regional Office, to add the above routes to the nation's Department of Transportation Improvement Plan and to authorize the submission of the intergovernmental agreements for design and construction of said projects. Business Committee Resolution Number 9918 needs a motion to continue.
Make the motion.
Motion made by the Secretary Treasurer. I do need a second. Other than Red Elk.
I second.
Odyssey. All right. All those in favor of resolution number 9918, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right. That approved. Adrian? Yeah. Sure.
Have you considered the Apache schools?
Yes, we have.
And
We have to go assess those streets. We'll put them on the long-range plan just like we did here. We can't put them all on at the same time. But they will eventually, all the schools that we service will be done. That's
okay,
what we-
because Apache's got a 52%
Yes,
Native
I know.
American enrollment.
I know that. They need some improvements around their school.
I tell you, Adrian, over there by their new gym, we all, people parking for the graduation over there. Man, that's rugged over there. It's pretty rugged.
Yeah, that's part of their parking.
All right.
School.
Yeah.
All right, so
We'll have to go over and
resolution.
assess those and look at them.
All right.
We'll do the same. Mr. Chairman, I might add that the Lori Tatum Road project, Indian Hospital Road is complete.
Yes, it is.
We're done with it.
All right. And I got to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now it comes to the KCA. They're not wanting Lori Tatum to be the name on there. So I think we're going to have discussion on that. I believe, I don't know. I wasn't there, but records show, well, we all know Artsas, Artoco, yeah, they were beat severely to not speak Comanche. So anyway, moving on. Resolution number 100-18. On the caregiver program guidelines. Do we have the caregiver director here? Hi, Georgia. All right. In a nutshell, I looked this over, and has this changed very much from what you had before?
No,
Okay.
it has just never gone through the process of being approved.
Oh,
And we just want to go
okay.
and have the guidelines there and you approve.
I actually seen this in 2009. So, all right. All right, thanks, Georgia. The Comanche Business Committee is a duly elected official body designated to conduct business for and on behalf of the nation. The Comanche Business Committee may approve policies and procedures, and now therefore be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee approves the Comanche Nation Caregiver Program Guidelines. That is what's on the table. I do need a motion to continue resolution number 100-18.
I'll make that motion since I'm elder.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Odyssey. Need a second to continue. Go ahead, Mr. Rizzo.
Being the other elder, I second that motion.
Okay. Business Committee Resolution number 100-18 is on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And I would hope, Georgia, that you get this in our newsletter, get it on our website, and say, hey, here's our rules. All right, thanks. All right, moving on to our Education Department. And do we have Ms. Parker here? Hi, Ms. Parker. What can you tell us this morning?
Okay, this is an agreement for basically a project that we're going to be doing with TEDNA. And it's to develop and demonstrate effectiveness of college and career readiness services. And we have spoken to Indiahoma Public Schools, and they're real excited about it. Basically, we're going to be able to hire somebody, and we're going to hire and oversee this person that's going to work directly with TEDNA and with Indiahoma Public Schools Their salary and benefits will be paid through the 2019 TEDNA NYCP project grant. So it won't be taken out of our funds, but it will, we hope that in the future we'll be able to add other schools to this. We chose Indiahoma schools because over 50% of their schools are native schools, native children I meant, and we have a very high percentage of Comanche students that are there. They're very excited about working with us on it. And basically, this is going to prepare them for college. You know, I talked about before that our students are not ready to go to college, and so it's going to help prepare them for college. It's going to help them with a career. They're going to start seeking a career early on by 6th grade, and it's also going to help them if they don't choose that plan for workforce by the time they graduate.
What's the dollar amount, you think?
You know what? I'm not sure. They haven't told us yet, but it's significant.
Okay. And TEDNA does stand for Tribal Education Department's National Assembly. And I believe there was 90 million appropriated. So I hope you get it. So here we go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This program could be incorporated during school time, during school hours?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Yes.
All right. Do we have to come with some in-kind, TA?
No, sir.
Okay, great. All right. Okay. So resolution number 10118. Comanche Nation Constitution establishes the CBC as the elected official body to conduct business. Whereas the Comanche Nation Higher Education Department will assist Indiahoma Public Schools by signing an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with TEDNA, which is Tribal Education Department's National Assembly, and Indiahoma Public Schools to provide initiatives focused on education and youth engagement programs intended to improve the lives of Native youth through a 4-year discretionary grant focused on early college and career readiness, CCR, by increasing academic achievement, increasing informed CCR planning, and building a CCR culture with all relevant education stakeholders. And now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes the Comanche Nation Higher Education Department to partner with Indiahoma Public Schools in association with the Tribal Education Department's National Assembly Native Youth Community Project Grant. For resolution number 101-18 to continue, I do need a motion entertained.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Odyssey, second by Narcomi. Business Committee to approve resolution number 101-18. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right.
Keep them grants coming.
Vern, we're going to go ahead, keep your 102-18, but we're going to KCA with it. How about that? All right. 103-18. And I believe this would be Mr. Vern. Could you give us a synopsis of this one, please?
103-18?
Yes?
Okay.
It's
With the
102.
passage of 788 and possibly 798, law enforcement's got another challenge. The state test for impairment currently is a breathalyzer.
102-18.
No, he said 103, I asked
Yeah,
him.
103-18.
It's 103-18.
And so
We
we'd
just
like to
tabled
have
102.
permission to add a supplementary test, which has been proven by DOT and Highway Patrol uses it, where you take a saliva sample along with the state test, and it will identify drug usage, alcohol usage, marijuana usage.
Okay, so, in a nutshell, what are you telling us?
We need a way to approve the court impairment.
Okay,
Okay, the state test currently does not show impairment with chemical usage,
Okay.
only alcohol.
okay. All right.
And this is also going to be part of the state board of test, which I also sit on. We're also going to introduce it there too.
Okay. Will this be submissive to our court?
Yes, that's the reason why we come to you
Okay.
to give us permission to use that test in court.
Okay.
And the test is done at the time they're in the vehicle? and you
It's
stop?
not intrusive. At the time of stop, you know, they can take a breath test and they can take this test. It's sealed, it's sent off. We don't test in-house, and it gives us results for the court.
What happens if they don't want to take these tests?
That's the reason why we're making it mandatory to take the test.
I got a quick question, Vern.
Yes, sir.
How many non-natives have gone through our court and paid fines?
Numerous.
All right. Would you say 100? Never
At
mind.
least,
How about 1,000?
I don't know about 1,000.
Okay,
Now,
all right.
footnote on this, it was not that long ago, about possibly 36 months ago, we had a vehicle accident in the Nehoma area where an individual who was impaired left the roadway, went through a fence, run over an individual on his riding lawnmower.
Right, right.
It was a state test and a supplementary test that which got the conviction because he was more impaired on the medication, opioids he was taking versus the alcohol he had in his system.
Okay. All righty. Resolution number 10318. I'm going right to it, guys. Therefore, be it resolved, the Comanche Nation reaffirms its commitment to public safety by establishing oral testing as an approved test for suspected impaired drivers. This system follows Fry and Daubert standards and will not replace the Oklahoma State test breath, which can identify impaired levels but not the source other than alcohol. Recommendations from the International Association of Chief of Police identified 3 key points for the use of oral testing in impaired driving enforcement. Oral test is done roadside. It's not intrusive as blood urine testing. Positive oral fluid test results indicate recent usage only. Oral testing minimizes the possibility that DUI suspects will eliminate the drugs from their system. So, here it is, resolution number 10318 to be incorporated in the court and the police department. I need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Odyssey, second by Narcomi. All those in favor of resolution number 10318, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay. Now, when we're talking to our court, assimilation to the foreign laws, please explain, court clerk.
I drafted this amendment to the Title I at the request of the police because our current laws, our current criminal and traffic codes do not address many issues that they found necessary to enforce on our street. So I drafted this. The assimilation makes the law, Comanche law, but rather than rewriting all the laws, you just reference some laws that are already in existence. So you just replace anything that says Oklahoma or state or anything like that, and it's now Comanche law. So that's they wanted to assimilate Title 47, which is motor vehicles in Oklahoma. It's basically anything that's a crime with cops.
Okay. Any questions on that, Robert? Okay. This is resolution number 104-18. There's a section 9.01, a section 9.02. Go to the next page. You have subchapters, which comes to chapter 7, 10, 11, 12. Then it goes to B, C, D, E, F, G. And it says here, the section shall take effect from and after August 1st.
I need time to get it all in our court program.
Okay. Okay. All right. There are activities that create risks to the public safety of the tribe and public are not addressed within the current tribal code. Also, the Comanche Nation owns and maintains roadways to which the safety of the tribe and the public are of great importance. So, and then we have Article 6 that speaks to the Constitution, Section 7J, to promulgate and enforce ordinance and codes governing law in order to protect the peace, health, safety, and general welfare on land determined to be within Comanche tribal jurisdiction. Now, therefore be it resolved, Comanche Nation reaffirms its commitment to public safety by amending Title I Comanche Nation Tribal Courts as follows. In that section, and right now, Court Clerk, can people see all of our codes?
Yes, they're available online.
Okay? And this will be added August 1st.
Yes.
Okay? All right, resolution
Excuse me.
number. Yes.
I have a question. Our tribal law and order codes, don't they fall under the same part in our Constitution that if, excuse me, that if a tribal member wants to receive copies of any documents from the tribe, that they can receive these without having to pay for them?
I believe that goes right to the Bill of Rights. I have no, to me, in my opinion, our Constitution is the law of the land, and the law of the court is underneath the law of the land, so.
What is the present practice in someone coming to the court and asking for a copy of the current law and order codes?
What is that, Jerry?
We charge a copy fee.
You
How
do
much
what?
is that?
It's per page. I'm not sure how much it is at this moment.
We might need to redefine that, because we don't charge nothing for anything they want to know that we actually do. You know, our Bill of Rights is very significant. I don't think it's going to kill the court too much to make copies, is it?
It's a significant amount of paper.
So,
Maybe we can address that at the next meeting, come to, if they want the full book, I don't know, you know, the wholesale price on the book, cost of the paper, I don't know. All right.
but right now, our the court's law and order codes are not complete. There are several chapters in there that are not even addressed, as even Vern brought up.
Yeah, and
Those are not in there. This foreign law code, that's not in there. There's other laws that are any other county, state, or federal law that are not even addressed in the present law and order codes. And if somebody has already came to the courts and asked for a copy of the current law and order codes and were charged for them, the court needs to repay that individual for what he was charged.
Phyllis, I tell you, we don't have it on the book today. Maybe somebody might want to entertain a motion. You know, our Bill of Rights is very significant. We can't hide nothing from anybody. You want the record, you get it.
No one's actually been charged. So.
Well, I think we need to evaluate that.
All right, where are we at on this? Hold on, Miss Eleanor. Where are we at on this? On
There's
one of-
not been a motion yet.
Okay, all right. Further discussion, Ms. McDaniels.
Yeah, you know, the Constitution says that the CBC, they can promulgate and enforce ordinances and codes governing law and order. Promulgate, I have a problem with that, which, to me, you guys can create a law, but I believe, to me, that the supreme governing body,
They direct the law.
they should pass it
They
first.
direct the law.
Because that's where we get into trouble. You
Yes.
guys think you can create any law, or like all our ordinances that we had, election ordinance, petition ordinance, all these ordinances that we have, that you can either rewrite them or delete them at will. And I believe that promulgate allows you to write them, but I believe that the supreme governing body, since it's going to directly affect every tribal member, that we should pass it by the tribal council of the supreme governing body. Because it's not right that you guys can write these laws, think that you can pass a resolution and change the world for us. You know, you can write it, but I believe that we need to pass it as people. So you've got all these codes that you're writing that's going to directly affect all of us, but we have no say in it. You know, so I think y'all are overstepping your bounds by passing all these resolutions that changes everything for every tribal member, but we have no say in it.
Agreed. On statutes of this law, Ms. McDaniels, we were at the mercy of CFR, and the Lawton Court never listened to Native American functions. Throw it out.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, okay, fine,
Yeah.
but you need to bring it to the people so we know exactly what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you establish this court, which I call a kangaroo court.
It's been voted on for 10 years.
Well,
We're talking about now.
It's been on the
We're talking
ballot
about now.
for 10 years. And the money disappeared that was supposed to have been established.
well, you know, you can say whatever you
Well,
want.
it's been on
Well,
the
you can
ballot.
say whatever
Change
you
it.
want, but right
10
now we
years.
have this court that we're dealing with, which right now has created so much havoc for us that we can't even get this election done. And we're all sitting here waiting, and you guys at will created this kangaroo court. Now look at us. We're a laughing stock because you people want to make trouble and then take it to that kangaroo court, and we can't get an election done. You need to start asking us. You're not the supreme governing body. The tribal council is the supreme governing body.
Correct.
According to the Constitution, it says that the CBC is acting on behalf of the people. And until we get to the general council, then rules are made and changed.
You're right, Jarvis.
We have, as the people, empowered the CBC to make rules and resolutions at
That's
will.
what they think.
I
They
believe.
need to tell us about it so we don't have to ask questions.
Well, they're right here.
Now we gotta live with all their stupid mistakes.
All the resolutions are listed right here every month.
All these things you're talking about have been going on for years. You never said anything then.
Well, we're
This
saying
was
it
10 years ago
now.
when they wanted
We're
this
saying
court.
it now because
We
you're
read it and
sitting
we put it
there.
together. Everything we
You're
do is
supposed to listen
complain
to the
about,
people.
we're doing whatever the general council
You're
wanted
out
to do.
of control.
They passed that court system.
You're totally
They
out of
passed it
control.
10 years ago.
No, they
with money
didn't
aside
pass
for
it.
Yes, it did.
No,
Where's
they
that
didn't
money?
pass it.
You didn't say
All they
anything about
passed
losing that money.
was the money.
Where's that money?
All they
this
passed
money
was the
disappears.
money.
You never did anything. And all of a sudden, you're talking about something.
All right, let's have
What about all
decorum.
these years it's been going
Okay.
on?
Oh,
Eleanor, on your statement, I agree. Promulgate, as a matter of fact, I actually had this written down. Where is Julia? I had promulgate, what is it? Yeah, we come up with the idea. We come up with the idea. But for the direction, it's true, in our Constitution, it is the tribal council. Now, Mr. Noni did have a resolution that makes all the sense in the world. It was the only constitutional question that whenever we do any amendments, it goes to the people. Because amendments we attempted have been compromised. And once compromised, always compromised. And I will never go back on that word at all. It has to be changed. Yes, Gabby?
Okay, we hear Supreme Governing Body all the time. And
Either we are or we're
and
not.
It's it's a reserved powers clause. All the powers that are not delegated to the CBC in the Constitution are reserved to the Supreme Governing Council to exercise through council resolutions which have to be approved by referendum votes. So that's what it is. I mean, that's how we exercise our supreme governing body
But your duties and
powers.
responsibilities
Yeah.
as a CBC are very defined.
Because
And
those
you guys-
powers that are not delegated
All
to the
those duties and
CBC.
responsibilities of the CBC are clearly defined in the Constitution, clearly. You only have limited authority, but you guys overstep it every time.
Mr. Red Oak made that perfectly clear, that we are directed, we're to enforce, we cannot ever compromise our Constitution. He was correct. So on this part here, in a nutshell, the assimilation of foreign laws means that we're going to reference the statutes of the state to incorporate it within our court. Okay.
I have a question. Do our laws correlate with other laws? What I mean is, if we get somebody for breaking the law, do we send it to the Oklahoma Department to put it on their record too?
No, we do not.
So everything is in-house here.
We don't have an appellate court. The judge ruled on the questions left off the ballot to have go to the appellate court. We don't have that. They said to have a special general counsel. We tried that. It also said to go to a petition. We ain't got that. So, Vern, go ahead.
One reason we need to simulate the traffic, we do not issue driver's license. There's some issues on driver's license.
Okay.
You've got to have a driver's license to drive on our highways.
Correct.
We don't regulate insurance policies for vehicles. The state does. So the need to have vehicle insurance when you're driving on our highways, protect yourself and others, needs to be assimilated. That's the reason why we need this assimilation code. It's nothing that's secret or secretive at all. It's just that when the state regulates issuing a driver's license, requirements for tagging a car, we need to assimilate that.
All right. Resolution number 10418 has been read, debated. I need someone to carry a motion for its continuance.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Secretary Treasurer. Need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Odyssey. All those in favor for resolution number 10418, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. BIA's Anadarko Agency to lease 120.39 acre tract, and that would be as the Edward Perquaquanted allotment. Go right ahead, Dennis.
Yes, we are able to issue this just before we go out. The lease, this current lease for $3,000 expires December 31st of this year. The new lease that we're wanting you to approve was for $4,700 for the same acreage. It begins on January 1, 2019.
Good job. Did he agree on it?
Yes.
Yes. Process with.
All right, thanks, Dennis. We'll read it. All right. Comanche Business Committee has determined that in the best interest of the Comanche Nation to authorize the BIA's Anadarko Agency to lease certain real property. And it is east 1/2, northwest a quarter, and lot 2, southwest quarter, northwest quarter of section 30. Is that the Indian Meridian? Is that Indian Meridian or TN1? TN1, R9W, Comanche
One north.
County, 1 north, okay. Comanche County, Oklahoma, containing 120.39 acres, more or less, referenced as the Edward Perquaquanted allotment, Comanche Tract 802-2502. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes Comanche Nation Chairman William Nelson to sign the BIA's Farming and Grazing Lease number 42000866742 in behalf of the Comanche Nation. That's what's before us. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question, Dennis. Where is this property located?
It's located at 4 miles south country center and 1 mile east.
Say that again.
About 4 miles.
Would the lease man consider 2 or 3 years lease instead of 5?
I'm sure he would. We can discuss that with him, but we haven't. But because it went through the Bureau, we just let them proceed with their process. But yes, we can.
The reason I'm asking these questions and making this statement is that I've been working with several different individuals on a Comanche land and cattle company. And we were to make a presentation to the CBC this monthly meeting, but due to circumstances, we didn't make that. So that's in the planning stages, and hopefully next month we will have a stable situation and we can come forward with that plan. And what we plan on doing is leasing all land that we own, and eventually leasing all trust property. It's a good plan, and I'm looking forward to presenting it to the CBC and the Comanche Nation.
With that said, Dennis, January 1st, 2017, that's when the lease is to start.
Yes,
Is there any way to go back and ask this guy on a 2-year plan?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right. Do you mind if we do that? Go ahead and take that.
Yeah.
All right.
How soon, Dennis, are they asking you to lease it?
Well, it's not.
Pardon me?
I know it's January 1, 2019, so we have a lot of time, right?
Well, we have enough time to do this, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen to the table. I'd like for someone to entertain a motion to table this.
Well, I would suggest that we amend it now, as Mr. Red Elk says, and encourage him to have just a 2-year lease.
You want to amend it now?
Yeah.
Well, you got to ask this guy first.
Yeah, but I mean, let's ask him, and if he says okay, then,
All right. Well, can we, okay, January's what, 9 months away, so let's bring it back for the next
I
meeting.
will.
Okay?
Okay.
So, let's make it official. Somebody make a motion to table this till our August meeting, please.
I make the motion.
Motion made?
With the conditions I've expressed.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Table, second, okay. All those in agreement to table resolution number 10518 for a different solution other than 5 years, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. Do we have Ms. Proudy here, or Dennis, are you handling this? We're going to turn the Commod House into trust land, right? All right.
Yes, we're finishing up the appraisal, and we've just finished, just got the survey done, and we're, need a resolution to submit the feeder trust application for the food distribution property.
Okay. I'm sitting here looking at your description. It is saying we are in the bounds of the KCA reservation. Is that what Julia gave you from BIA?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You got a problem with that?
I think we should be using it.
Okay. So much for separation. No. Okay. We're going to move forward on this. Resolution number 106-18. The lot is Lot 3, Section 18, and the north half of the east half. And it goes on and on and on. Lease and accept. Metashai Estates, Part 1, description as recorded in instrument number 1999, 016478, Plat Book 5, page 81B, words or phrases in brackets are added for clarification. Bearings indicated are based on the plat and are not true beginning at the point on the north line of the southwest quarter. Now, the last time this was surveyed by Mr. O.T. Tadenapper, where we start on Matashai Estates up to food distribution, are we assuming that as the full description, or are we just assuming the west part?
No, we're assuming that it has a full description because we had looked at it as two different descriptions, one for the food distribution property and one for that property just north of that road. But if we did that, then that would be two applications, be two separate descriptions.
Okay.
So if we did it in one description, except the Matashai, then it would be one application.
Okay. How many acres to the west would be inclusive of food distribution?
I mean, from the food distribution to the road, I didn't break that down. I don't know
Okay.
that.
You know what I'm getting at, don't you? All right. We do this part. Why don't we go ahead and assume Medici is Estates? Is Nora still here? No?
Manischewitz
So-
Estates is going to be owned by individuals.
But at the same time, when that was constructed, it was constructed from the history that I got from housing, it was constructed for disabled elderly, it's for an elderly cluster site. Why it was put on simple fee land, I'll never understand that. Why, once these people have paid their house off, now they're having to pay taxes on it. Okay? What is our situational problems to put Medici in trust?
To put Manischewitz in trust, we would have to own the property. The application has to be by the owner.
Housing does own the property, but they've been let go once they have assumed their full mortgage on the house. Now it's the homeowners. By the law, Native American homeowners can apply for trust, which was an origination of trust. Am I right? Have you looked into that?
Actually, the individuals can apply for trust.
Yes, they can.
Yes. But we don't make that application for them. It's an individual application.
What if we lead some kind of coalition? Because what we're trying to do, we're only trust up to where the Nottaway County used to be. Okay, where the Circle of Honor stops, then you got Clyde's land, everything on this side, there's a lot of debate about it. Even the Buffalo Pens, there's debate about it. Medici should have never been simple fee, should have went to trust where they went to the build. Now we got the Commod House in question. I just don't want to be all just bits and pieces of trust, then have still simple fee. Can we be all inclusive?
We can look into that, but we'd have to circumvent that code and that requirement that says that we have to own it to make the application.
All right.
I think that's complicated to try to include it at this point in time.
Okay.
The whole property was bought, it was fee property.
I get it.
But before that, it was trust property back in the day. And then it came out of trust and then became under the ownership of Fred Farrell.
That's all of Oklahoma,
Yeah,
what you
and
just
then-
described.
And then the tribe bought it from Fred Farrell. And the tribe used the housing authority in the process because they used CDBG funds to buy it.
Right.
And it cost more than the program would let them spend, so the tribe had to come up with some more money to do that, so they was able to combine the monies to buy that property. Well, they did so and put it in the housing authority's name so that the housing authority could put that subdivision there. So the housing authority, after they set out that subdivision, then deeded back the property, what is now ours, to us.
Okay. All right, we can go on forever. Thanks, Dennis, all right. Sure.
Since some of that land, or since those homes that have been paid for are now owned by that person and they're paying taxes, why can't our realty department just work with all of those particular homes and do a group individual request to put it into trust?
I like that idea. It's a coalition led to go to trust.
I believe it can be settled because if you get a registered land surveyor to come in and survey the property, and then it would become one piece of property.
Sure.
If you wrote the legal description for it as a professional land surveyor, then it would be one piece of property. You can change it.
I think Medici and, golly, anyway.
Well, I just wondered, that property individually owned has to file themselves. The landowner has to file, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so why don't we just write a letter to those people on that side and tell them this is what they need to do to try to put this in trust, and then see what happens.
Well, I think that it's complicated. I think there's a number, Phyllis made a good thought there. I think they can consolidate the application, for trust.
Well,
Rather than sending a
that
letter
white man's
to
gonna
individual.
fight it. That white man's gonna fight it. He's not gonna give it to us.
If you're talking about the tax assessor, I'm not sure that he will.
Yeah, I don't think.
He's not going to.
But, couldn't the landowner kind of give him the right to act on their behalf?
I think what Phyllis and your suggestion, Ms. McDaniels, we ought to do that. We really should.
We have to look into it.
Oh, that means we're not gonna do it.
I mean, yes, we could do it, but I mean, we can't do it right now. Just saying, Dennis really needs to bring forward,
We had that several requests.
Anybody that lives in Manachai, raise your hand. You know, it's, I
I
was
think
talking,
we need to table it and let,
Dennis work.
just look into it and see what the options are.
I don't want you to table the resolution for the,
right, we'll go with the
we can
USDA.
go ahead and move forward
Right.
with that, and then bring this other one up, because give us that, if you grant us the authority to do that.
Well, the thing is, checkerboarded all over the place, trust, not trust, you know.
Well, it's not just Madison, there's the Cogni homeowners, there's, Maseki cluster over there. I'm getting calls from them asking the same thing.
Dennis, you know what? You might need to have a big circle meeting of all the cluster sites and visit with these people. Listen to them, see what we can do. That'd be good. All right. All right, here we go. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Nation Business Committee requests that the food distribution property be placed in trust for the benefit of the Comanche Nation pursuant to the Indian Reorganization Act, which is 25 U.S.C. Statute 465. Now therefore be it further resolved that the chairman of the Comanche Nation is authorized to act on behalf of the Comanche Nation to direct and oversee the preparation of the trust application on the behalf of the Comanche Nation, including authorizing of any surveys, appraisals, abstracts, title insurance, environmental reviews, or necessary services and reports. And it's further authorized to submit said application to the BIA on the behalf of the Comanche Nation. Need a motion for resolution number 106-18.
I make the motion.
Motion made by Secretary Treasurer. Need a second to continue.
I second.
Second by Mr. Odyssey. All those in favor of resolution number 106-18, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Well, our commodities will be in trust. All right. Resolution number 107-18, Language Revitalization Grant, I believe. Is that you, Ms. Cotaponi?
Yes.
Please come forward, ma'am.
This is a grant that was provided by the microgroup. It's called a micro grant, and so it's for a small amount. It's for up to $50,000. The Comanche Language Planning Group combined efforts with the Grants Department, and we applied for $48,000. And what this grant is called the Comanche Language Planning and Development Project. This grant will support the initial hiring of new staff and aid in the production of educational awareness videos featuring Comanche language speakers. The videos will be available to all the tribal members.
Okay,
So
great.
that's what this is.
Thank you. I believe we got one more. You want to go ahead and speak to that one?
Yes.
Okay. believe
This
it's-
is also provided by the microgroup. And this is a $10,000 technical assistance pilot project. They're choosing 3 tribes, and specifically, it will offer technical assistance on a need assessments and a written next steps plan. The Comanche Nation Language Planning and Development Department, which is a new department that was just passed, proposes an innovative pilot project that promotes the role of intergenerational involvement in enhancing and building capacity to identify and implement best practices for our language revitalization efforts.
Thank you very much.
I have a question.
They're both a year-long grant.
Okay.
I have a question on the first one, 107-18. You said, you mentioned something about it's gonna go and harm somebody.
Excuse me?
It's gonna be harming somebody.
It's the new department that was passed on the budget, the Comanche Language Planning and Development. It's just onboarding the project director 1 month early. is paying for the salary for the project director, because the grant goes from August to August, it's a year grant,
So this 50,000 is for salary?
just for 1 month.
Okay.
Actually, excuse me, 2 months, August and September, because the new department won't begin till October 1.
All right, thank you. All right. I would like to ask the Business Committee to allow me to treat Resolution Number 107-18 and 108-18 inclusive to one. I just got one question. Any in-kind money needed for this?
No, it's not.
Okay. In-kind money means our money, so that's good. All right. So I'm going to read as such. Whereas the Micah Group has funds available up to $50,000 for 1 year to accomplish this purpose, and on 108-18, the Micah Group has funds available up to $10,000 for 1 year to accomplish this purpose, and the tribal chairman or his designee is the official representative of the Comanche Nation and is authorized to negotiate and approve contracts and amendments to such. Now therefore be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee does hereby approve the submission of this grant application to the Micah Group Cultural Resource Fund for 107-18, and 108-18 has the same language. Be it further resolved that the Comanche Business Committee, acting for and on behalf of the Comanche Nation, does hereby authorize this resolution for such intent for 107-18 and 108-18 Business Committee. I would love for somebody to entertain a motion to accept resolution number 107-18 and 108-18, please.
I make that motion, 107 and 108.
Motion made by the Secretary Treasurer. Need a second to continue for both resolutions.
I'll second that motion.
All right, second. Business Committee to approve resolution number 107-18 and 108-18. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, we've been going about an hour.
Before we go on, Chairman, could I ask Carolyn a question?
Sure.
Carolyn, it was my understanding that we were late with this. What happened?
We contacted the funding source, and the deadline to get the resolution was June 29th, and so we told them that we were going to meet today, and so they're working with us to submit these resolutions. We've already submitted the phase 3 grant, the big larger one, was submitted on June the 15th, but that resolution wasn't due till June 29th. And the same thing, the pilot project grant was not due until June the 30th, and we submitted that on June 29th. So now, as soon as I get a copy of this, I will email it to them.
Thank you.
All right. This next resolution will be quite intense. I believe Jamie Swanson is here. We've got a building that's coming to the completion of being opened. Correct? All right. We're out of our haunted Fort Salina School girls' dorm. Poor things. So, Jamie, please come entertain the audience, the CBC. It is a pretty big treatment center policies and procedures. If you don't have to cover it all, but give it all in a nutshell, will you please, ma'am?
Well,
Thank
the
you.
building, I believe, had a business committee plan before I was hired over a year and a half ago. Its original was to house 12-man in a 45-day treatment center, and it still is today, but it didn't have a resolution, so that's why I'm here. It is, unique. It's going to be a unique program for men, I feel, because I worked at IHS for 10 years as an acting director, and we allowed men in our residential program contracted by a recovery center in Wichita Falls, which is a 28-day stay. The only thing I heard through the years working at IHS was that it didn't have a cultural component. It was too short. I didn't identify with any of the counselors. It wasn't good for me. My experience wasn't great. But having this residential treatment center for men I don't know if y'all been there, we're gonna have an open house, and I invite you all to come in and look at it. It's a beautiful place. We have implemented the sprinkler systems, the ventilation area in the kitchen area, new appliances. The building was kind of run down, but they had to work on it, capital improvement. It did take a while for us to get it to par. My goal is to, within the next 2 years, bid a proposal for IHS so that I can get the Recovery Center bid to our program here in Southwest Oklahoma. And I would like to see it grow even bigger later on to add a unit for women as well. Men are at least, I believe, 2/3 more prompt to go to treatment than women are. We only send about 1/3 every year to treatment for women, but men are the highest proportion that need these services. In this facility, we're going to add a cultural component, which is going to be a 1/3 of that component is cultural. We have White Bison, Well Variety. We also have a sweat that's being built. We have a fire pit in the back, which is going to be utilized for a talking circle for men. We also have a theme in there, which is the warrior. And we're going to have a cultural counselor in. We've already hired a couple of people. The staff's there, they're trained. And the policies, the reason why it's so long, I'm trying to follow the template for IHS so that we're ready once we do the bid in 2 years to get that funding, okay? So with your approval, we'd like to see it go forth.
Will this be for Comanche only or all nation?
Comanche only right now. And we've also implemented a fee amount, which I broke in half for other tribal members at other places. And I've already made contact with a few tribes on the cost of the facility. It cost us $136 for the bid IHS for native bids. So I split that in half. I made it $68 for those tribal members. Okay. But once we get the IHS proposal in and submitted, and if it's approved, it's open to all natives, and then IHS will pay us for that. Okay. Which includes the Comanche members as well.
Is that 68, is that for the whole time they're in there?
68 a day.
Oh, okay.
As you know, treatment centers are
Yes.
very expensive, very expensive. I mean, it can run us up to $30,000
Well, you
to
just
pay
didn't
the
say
full-
not to.
Yeah. But the amount that IHS bid per person for 28 days was $3,800 for them, close to that amount. So we're cutting it in half for other tribal members. Okay. And again, the reason for the length of the template is I followed the IHS residential template for that. Okay. And our staff's already trained. We have techs already trained. We have 2 contract counselors. Gordon Whitewolf is one. He's going to be helping us. We're also going to hire another cultural counselor for the evenings. So the men are going to have a wellness component, a cultural component, as well as the big book, 12-step. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting for them. We've added an art component for the men too, crafts for them. So.
At some point, Jamie, will you be able to incorporate mental health services?
Oh, yeah, that's included with, it's called co-occurring disorders. I don't know if you're familiar with residential programs, but a lot of men that come in will have a substance abuse disorder as well as a mental health disorder that are in our treatment facilities. And take into account prevention recovery program, we have the I Am Indian program, we have Native Connections, which is the Native Spirit Project. We also have our IHS Outreach, and we have the residential program. So it's 4 different programs under ours.
You're mentioning men, what is the age?
The age is 18 and older.
But we do take women too, right?
Well, that's it. We only have that one wing. That's all we have out there. The back wing is New Pathways in that building. They're taking that other wing, and then that add-on that they had, that's their building. Yeah. And see, I only got hired a year and a half ago. The business proposal was just for men when they implemented that. But I would like to see it go for the bid for IHS to be a women's unit as well. So we're going to probably work on getting that done too.
Do we have a good participation in this?
Yes, we have, actually, right now, we have 8 men that have picked up their applications to get a physical and lab work and all that to be medically cleared to come into the program.
Do we have a 12-step program?
Yes, that's part of that program too, the big book. When we have an open house, you're more than welcome to come look at all the curriculum that we're gonna have available to them. The big book is one of them as well, okay?
I wonder, do you have certified people for this?
Yes, I have a licensed counselor there, I'm a licensed therapist. We have another one that's working on her drug and alcohol certification, she's already got a bachelor's degree. Most staff have their degrees that are working there in that facility, they're gonna be the direct care staff for them.
I was just wondering, some of our employees that get into trouble with alcohol and drugs, you know, we dismiss them sometimes. What if we send them to you, and if they finish their program, they could stay put?
I think we already have a no tolerance, is that right? Yeah.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Jamie, on this policy,
Yes.
this is all your wording, or?
Yeah, I was talking to them, I said, it came from the IHS template for the residential programs.
All right.
And that's the goal, is to bid for the IHS.
All
in 2
right.
years.
Business Committee, you heard this young lady, and we are going toward 109-18.
I'm going to raise a question.
Sure, sir.
Jimmy, does this fit within our policies? HR, et cetera?
It does, it's like, you know, we've met with her, and we've talked with IHS, so, and I had those same questions about qualifications. And it actually even works with our court system. So people that end up in trouble, it's a way to also get them out and have some kind of treatment as part of their, you know, court resolve, I guess.
Thank you.
One last question. In the policy, do you know, Biscuit used to really do a lot of good work by having sweats and holistic healings.
That's what, that we're doing that this week, actually. Like I explained to them, we have a fire pit out there. They're gonna do talking circle.
Oh,
We
okay.
also are gonna, they're supposed to work on that this week, the sweat press, yeah.
Incorporated the Native American Church.
Yes, 12-step, white bison, well variety, all that.
Well, the president of our Native American Church chapter is right back there. I hope you will speak
yes.
with them on many things. All right. All right. Whereas the Comanche Business Committee see the critical need to provide residential treatment to Native Americans. Substance abuse contributes to a range of problems, including violence, delinquency, and mortality from suicide. Native Americans experience some of the highest rates. The mission of the Comanche Nation Residential Treatment Center is to improve the physical, spiritual, and emotional health of Native Americans so they can live a life free of dependence of addictive behaviors. The Comanche Nation Residential Treatment Center will allow Native Americans to seek recovery by integrating spiritual and cultural values. The Comanche Business Committee has determined that it is the best interest of the Comanche Nation to open the Residential Treatment Center and enact the Residential Treatment Center policies and procedures. And before I go to this part, Vern.
Yes, sir.
Is there any, now this, I got to bring it up. I thought about this when I was looking it over. Let's say a young man, of course, he's had a really a bad history, okay? He's just had bad history, run-ins with the law, and it's an addictive problem. If anybody has a warrant that's in our system, procedure,
Actually, the initial demographic identifies that.
okay?
Yes.
And on your side, Vern,
I'm not gonna be going over the treatment center before we want the rest.
okay?
We got plenty to do.
Okay. You sure now? Does it need to be incorporated in this, ma'am? I mean, it's goodwill to say that.
Well, and then again, it depends on the warrant too. A federal warrant, a felony warrant is very serious, and if they're an endangerment to others, do they need to be in our residential facility?
Sure.
I mean, their intake should identify all those things.
Okay. And Vern, just for the record, you know, we were over there at Fort Swindon School. Did you ever have to get called over there on certain situations? I don't know your business, but
Only a couple of times.
Okay.
We had one client that brought in drugs
Okay.
which violated the policies and all.
Correct.
And then another time, we had a fire that we had to go respond to
Okay.
at the sweat.
All right. Oh, at the sweat. Okay. Yeah, Jerry?
Mr. Watson, how many of your employees are licensed in drug and alcohol?
Two, our licensed professional counselor, we got a licensed behavioral health clinician. I will be licensed in the drug and alcohol, and I've been in that field for since 2000 when I had my license, 18 years. So one is going for her CADC right now. So we have two licensed, one going for CADC, and one on a track for the LPC right now. They're master's level.
Are any of your employees in recovery?
That's a personal question. I feel like I can't answer that.
And
right.
and you said there was a 12-step program?
Yes,
When was that initiated?
that's been in place. For the residential treatment program, we're doing a 12-step big book, and we're doing White Bison, Will Variety. That covers the 12-step, the curriculum.
All right. Continuing on, now therefore be it resolved, the Comanche Business Committee hereby approves the Comanche Nation Residential Treatment Center and enacts the policy and procedures. That is the resolution before us, 109-18. Need a motion to continue.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, need a second? All those in favor of resolution number 109-18, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And I hope that this, where's Karan?
She's the halfway house, new halfway house.
Okay, all right. So you guys aren't working in, you're not
We're the treatment
conjunction?
center, and once they get out of the treatment center, they step down and get into the halfway house.
Okay. Does it speak to that in here too?
Yeah, that's part of the discharge planning. It's in there.
All right, okay.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
When Kathy got the Accelis software for the online education, we're also adding that component for our men too. If they don't have a GED, they'll be able to get it while they're in treatment, as well as a certification in plumbing 1, 2, heat and air, which is great. I think it's going to greatly enhance their ability to work. So I think it's going to be a great program for them.
Does it speak to that in here?
No, but we just got signed up for that.
All right, all right.
But I'll add it.
All right, sounds like good addendums. All right,
Yeah.
all right, it has passed.
Okay.
We're going to Dr. Cornell Pee Wee Wardy. Dr. Cornell, you were scheduled for June. Sorry, apologize, we didn't have a quorum. You can please, sir, speak to your nation.
This is my third appearance or our opportunity to speak in support of the idea of a way that our children can save our nation. I think about the little ponies. I think about my father, President Ward. He was also the last president of the Fort Sill Indian School. He fought very hard to keep that school. And I'm one of the designers for the Comanche Nation College. I know it doesn't exist anymore, but the spirit does. So as I begin to look at the future of our nation, I think about the little ponies and how they stayed behind to fight when the warriors have gone out. I see that metaphor taking place now, that the future of our education is in our young people. And there's a lot of people that are here that was part of the design team. We've been meeting a whole year. Many of the CBC have been involved, come to our gatherings. And so I'm here to present the opportunity for a authorization. The authorization means it gives us a green light to pursue the application through the Oklahoma State Department of Education that would allow us to move in the application for it would take probably a year to authorize our own charter school. And so I gave to Julia a month ago the application that gave a chronology of all of the community engagements, meetings that we've had that will go towards creating a Comanche-centered charter school. starting at a very young age, because as an architect of other Native American schools, I've always started young. Started early and then built on. So I'm jump-starting 2 schools already as the principal and starting 3 university Native American Studies programs. I have that kind of success. So with this team that we have in community, I see the resources right here amongst our own people to put together a future for our children. And so, because education is so important to me, because I give you our background, and to many of us that all come from warrior people, we are determined to create a future that is a pathway for who we are as Numina. I'm very proud to be a citizen of the Comanche, the nation. So as we begin to look at what the future can be, we have to start small. And that's what I present to you. And I thank you, all those that have been coming to our meetings. We are not here by ourselves. We're with others that have submitted letters of support, others that have dedicated letters of support within the Comanche Nation. And I've worked as a volunteer primarily with the Comanche preservation language, with education, and with our youth, volunteer with the I'm Indian program. So as we begin to look at the application process, it's a long time in coming. And so last year, this time, was the first initiative by Mr. Bill Gover. Presented this idea because I just retired from Portland State University as a professor. He presented to the CBC the idea of tribal charter schools. It's only in the state of Oklahoma that this happens. And it was a beautiful opportunity for anybody to really, for a tribal nation to take charge of its own education. From that, I have a fellowship that moved towards developing an application. And so we have people that are here that are part of our design team. So I'm not standing here by myself. I'm here amongst many community members that, like me, have a concern about the education and how they're being educated within our community here in Southwest Oklahoma. And so as we began to look at the application, I put together an abridged copy because it's not complete, but it's enough information to help provide you that we have guidance, not only amongst our committee, which is the design team, but from TEDNA and also the State Department of Ed. Plus, I'm a fellow for the NACA Native Inspired Schools Network, which is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and many of our members have attended that school, so they can bear witness to how we are following their model, which is almost 100% graduation rate, all Native children. And of those children, 90% are getting college applications and they're being funded because it's a model that is based upon Native-centered wellness. We're creating an education that's educating the whole child. That's unlike a public school. We barely have to get our foot in the door in public schools just to have one day of culture and language. By having an entire school based upon Comanche-centered education, every day is our day. Every day we can sing the flag song. Every day we can pray in our own language. Every day we can be Numina. And if we can model that as professionals, our children could see how we're trying to make who we are a reality. So I present that to you just to let you know that we have 3 options that I presented in the resolution. Option A, B, and C. And so you could look at how the options can come up to be. So as you begin to look at, it's going to be mostly funded by the state, state monies. But like the monies that was in, dedicated to the tribal college, which is almost $1 million a year, I think that it's feasible, looking at what investment that the nation has, to look at another investment in our children and starting small. Kindergarten, first, second grade, and then from there, we'll morph into other grades until we can grow to be K through 12. So it's a start of an idea and a plan. It's starting small, so we don't collapse. Because I've seen schools that start from K through 12, and they have a foundation and they collapse. And so I want to too big, too soon. Starting small and then growing out year by year, adding a grade means you're adding another grade for the same kids, same teacher. You're growing our community. It's a public school, but it's Comanche-centered, which means if you design a Comanche-centered education, most of our population will come. That doesn't exempt other tribes or even Diavolts or non-Indians. That's okay because it's public school. But if you open up a Comanche-centered charter school, it's open to everybody. And that's why it's public school monies. So we're looking at the funding formula for $3 that the state puts in for the budget. $1 would come out of the dedication of the Comanche Nation. So you're looking at that kind of budget formula. Just a very simple idea of what that's going to look like as we morph and grow. So with that, I present that the first step is to authorize to recommend the authorization of a charter school. Once that's done, then we have leverage to move into more fundraising, look at foundations, and continue the application, which might take a year. But the year, we can add on more people that are involved in our design team, and you can see how transparent we are about what we're trying to do and create a school for our children here in our community. The facility has not been determined yet because it's just all grassroots. We all look together what we can do with our partners are also the Kiowas, the Fort Sill Apaches, and all the other tribes we will invite. But they will also jump on board knowing that this is our spirit and will be involved in our own education in languages front and center for this school. That's why we're here. The first ones to offer us the letters of support were our preschool. I think it was Pat and Billy Krager. I don't know if they're here, but they were the first ones on board and says, this is a beautiful idea to continue what we're trying to do here through a school. And so I thought I'd share that with you because this is my third appearance to move forward on the creation of the idea of creating a Comanche-centered charter school.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. I'd like to recognize this. Go ahead and announce your name that's part of this team.
I'm Carolyn Codahoney. I'm the Child Care Development Fund Program Director. I'm also co-facilitator for the Comanche Language Planning Group that has been planning a year for language revitalization to partner. I consider myself a Comanche language advocate as well as all native languages advocate, and this is something that's happening. It's exciting to me because there's a lot of things that are happening in our community where we are revitalizing not only our language but our culture. And by having a Comanche charter school, which is great because like he said, Oklahoma is the only state that actually puts money to tribes, and there's no tribal charter schools in existence right now. And so I think we should take advantage of this great opportunity that we have, and it will help with the preservation and maintaining and perpetuating our culture into the lives of our most important people that we're doing this for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, our future generations that are going to be coming up. And Comanche doesn't have to be the only language spoken in that school. The model that they're following, is it NACA? Let me say that. They speak several languages in their school. They have multiple native languages in their school, and so it can grow to be a really wonderful thing following that model, because I haven't been able to go on site, but I've seen presentations of the school. It's really something else. Success rate off the charts.
My name's Catherine Parker. I'm the Director of Higher Education. We have already started the process through our department, through our STEAM camp, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. We've had our first STEAM camp this summer. We're already developing curriculum right now as we speak for our students that are based upon the standards of the State Department, that are Comanche influenced. Everything that we have done with our STEAM curriculum is centered around the Comanche Nation culture. So we've already started that. Not this coming week, but the following week, we will have our middle school and our high school STEAM camp. Right now, we have over 50 students that are enrolled in that, and we're really excited. We're going to take them to the academy in Norman, and they're going to teach them about flying. And so we're just trying to get these kids interested in things beyond where they are right now. I see a lot of parents that are really interested in what we're doing right now. We've also incorporated the Acellus training. It is a curriculum that is amazing. I have my granddaughter on it that I pay for myself, not through Comanche funds. She was behind in first grade. She's only been on it 3 weeks, and she has done over 400 lessons on there. And we're trying to get her up to second grade before school starts, and I think we're gonna make it there. So it's phenomenal. Our GED students are surpassing what we thought they would on Acellus. We're adopting it across the whole nation now, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's $20 a lesson or $10 a month to tutor. I mean, you can't beat that. This program, I can't say enough about it, but it's amazing. I'm excited about this. We're really looking forward to working together, and I have personally taught in a charter school myself for about 5 years, so I do have some experience with that. I also have a degree in school administration as well.
Good afternoon. My name is Martina Callahan. I'm the Historic Preservation Officer, and I'm so excited to see that this could become a reality. I've been to a lot of charter schools. My family in Umatilla, Pendleton, Oregon, they have their own charter school, and it's beautiful to see these young kids speaking our language fluently. And so before this, hardly anybody spoke it. Now we're pairing up young people with elders, and so that's what we have to do, is to be able to preserve our culture, and language is a big factor. And so I really want us to pursue this, and I know young people are excited about it. I have a nephew who goes to NACA out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and his grandmother was raising him. His mother's deceased, but he has ADHD, and she wants to tell you about how beautiful NACA is. Having such a hard time in the public school system, but now he goes to NACA, totally different boy, loves school, he's understanding it, and so I can see that happening here, and that's what we need to jump on board while there's money's there with the state of Oklahoma. So the kids are excited about it, and to be able to preserve our language and our sharing our history, and being able to come up with our own curriculum, being geared towards college and everything. That's how our school is up in Oregon. Everybody's college bound. So.
My name's Phyllis Narcombe. I'm not an employee, but I am a community person. So I'm part of the design team. But one of the reasons why I was interested in it was when I worked at the college and we would give people, the students, a placement test. We only had 2 that did not need remedial classes. And that's sad to say. And most of them all came from, schools in this area, which means that the schools weren't doing a good job. So we need to take it upon ourselves to educate our own students. And it's not just about college, it's about whatever career they decide to do. Whether they decide to go into the military, they need to test well on that ASVAB. Whether they're going to go into a VOTEC, where they need to test well there. I mean, it's not just about the college. To me, it's going to affect their lives and their career.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, design team. Thank you very much.
Okay, just a thought. I'm for education of any kind to try to help anyone get it better themselves. I'm all for that. If I remember correctly, a charter school can get 5% of the budget, state's budget. So if we develop one, we could get that's a starter for getting 5% of the state's money.
Yes, that's
As a start. Now, what's the time frame for submitting this, Julian?
Well, who's already submitted it?
The application, you have an abridged copy in your packet.
It's probably too late for this year.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
So what are we looking at?
We're looking at probably a year out.
Okay, because my concern was finding the money. So I want to know what
Well,
the
the
time frame.
jump start monies will come from the State
Yeah,
Department of
that's right.
Education.
Yeah,
And then, but not only that, but TEDNA would be the one to help us, because we're not on this by ourselves. We have an opportunity that would look at, let me see, it would be the startup budget will spend, if it was like $280K to launch a school, all funded by private foundation aid, and the school could use the startup year assistant from the tribe to help out its temporary facility. Generally, charter schools, self-sustaining from a budget perspective, they buy everything and anything that the tribe can offer by way of assistance of financial support. And so not only that, we would get monies that we would apply for at the State Department, I think charter school assistance. That's what TEDNA helps us out with. So we'll get additional help from startup funds from the State Department of Ed.
okay, does this work like the public school where you get so many students, you get paid, you get so much money per student?
Yes.
Plus the 5%?
Yes, that's, the funding formula will be the same for, the whole State Department of Ed per child. In the formula is because of the cost of educating children, the younger the child, the more money's in the formula. So that should advantage us because we're starting at the kindergarten, first and second. So we'll get the higher end of the money on the formula.
Moving on, resolution number 110-18. Whereas the Comanche Nation is a federally recognized Indian nation with a historic and continual government-to-government relationship with the United States. Whereas the Comanche Nation since time immemorial has exercised the sovereign rights of self-government. Whereas the Comanche Nation has operated an education system within its territory since the Treaty of Medicine Lodge, as well as the creation of Fort Sawenda School on February 20th, 1871. Whereas over 800 Comanche Nation citizens attend public schools throughout the tribe's territory. Whereas Comanche Nation supports public schools through education programming, such as Johnson O'Malley, co-partner programs, and other Comanche Nation higher education department incentives. I know we get a lot of assistance to all of these districts. Moving on. Whereas Comanche Nation supports public schools through financial contributions in the form of grants from tribal revenue by the collection of Comanche Nation motor vehicle registration taxes. Whereas the mission of the Comanche Nation Higher Education Department is to provide support and guidance to the Comanche tribal members in obtaining their educational goals. Whereas the Oklahoma Charter Schools Act 70 OS Statute 3 through 132A provides for the creation of charter schools when sponsored by a federally recognized Indian tribe operating a high school under the authority of the BIA as of November 1st, 2010, if the charter school is for the purpose of demonstrating Native American immersion instruction and is located within a former reservation or treaty area boundaries. For purposes of this paragraph, Native language immersion instruction shall require the education, instruction, and other activities conducted at the school site are primarily conducted in the native language, which is 70 OS Statute 3132A. Whereas the Comanche Charter Schools Act 70 OS Statute 3132A provides for the creation of charter schools when sponsored by a federally recognized Indian tribe, only when the charter school is located within the former reservation or treaty area boundaries of the tribe on property held in trust by the Bureau of Indian Affairs of the United States Department of the Interior for the benefit of the tribe. We go right back to 70 OS Statute 3132A. Whereas the Comanche Nation meets the requirements under the state law to charter. Whereas the First Nations Community School meets the requirements under state law to operate a charter school. Whereas Dr. Cornell Pee Wee Wardy has submitted an application that meets the requirements of the Oklahoma Charter Schools Act and the expectations of the Comanche Nation. Now, therefore be it resolved that the application to charter submitted by Dr. Cornell Pee Wee Wardy, an abridged summary of which is attached hereto, is hereby approved. That's the resolution. We've heard it. We've been over it. Resolution number 110-18 is on the table for a motion.
Whereas I make a resolution to approve 110-18.
The whereas is recognized and is second to continue.
Oh, I have a question, another question if you don't mind.
Go
If
right
this
ahead,
is the
sir.
charter school, that means you run everything exclusively by yourself.
Yes.
So we had no input or guideline or anything over this. You could sit there and pay yourself $100,000 a year and nobody can say anything. Right? Or you could pay your members, or you could pay everybody outrageous deals or whatever, because is there any guidelines to that?
Yeah, well, it's under the charter school guidelines, but the governance is the design of the design team. However would you like to, the composition of the school board? The school board will start to hire the administrators, and administrators will hire, just like a regular school. So it does have those checks and balances inside the governance structure.
Okay, so we can have a school board that could oversee the school.
Yes.
Okay. And whose authority after the school board?
The people that created it.
Yeah,
Guess
well,
who that is? We're stewards,
Yeah.
but the Comanche people own it.
Yeah.
If there's any questions of irregularities or anything.
Yes, yes.
Will it still fall under state guideline though, since you're taking state money?
Yes, it would be the same core standards, but we would design
what I
the
would
curriculum
want.
ourselves. Yes. And that's the reason why I asked the attorney, does the attorney understand school law? School law would be all encumbered within the framework of the governance.
It comes to this, we have it here.
Wait a minute.
Question? Question?
What you're here for is to get a resolution supporting the creation of charter schools. You keep saying schools. But you first need to have a school to start with, right?
Well, the charter school is so much different than your basic public school system. Your
I
basic
understand
public
that.
school system.
I've also read.
Phyllis, let me give you an analogy. Me and this man, we met with the Lawton Public School superintendent. The man was wanting to have us give them some land so they can build these superstructures for sports. Well, we all know all Native Americans are great athletes. We've always led Southwest Oklahoma in every athletic competition there is. Bob asked the question, how is our kids doing? No answer. Heard crickets. Can you give us an answer how our kids are doing? No answer. Heard crickets. Then we actually forced this man to give us an answer. He gave it to Mr. Chris Kills first, and that was the only person he gave it to, and he hasn't been back to ask us for one thing after that. With that said, you will see that they will not give that type of information to us. We all know what the structure is. They have a SCORE program. SCORE program is saying, I cannot function in the Lawton public school system. And I'm more or less in this group with, and I don't want to stereotype nothing, but, when you got kids sagging their pants down to their ankles, and just don't have any emotion to them but to be destructive, and our children are in that type of format, this has to happen immediately. I cannot stand it that our own Comanche kids will not speak their language, but they know everything that's on the top 10 list of the rap hit list. We've got to be better than that. And this is where it's at, Phyllis.
I understand that. I didn't really need your oratory, your synopsis.
I know. I am
But
an
my
oratory.
question is, where in your planning have you determined where your first charter school would be established?
There's 3 locations we've been talking to. One is really far-fetched, it's beautiful, but it's gonna be hard to get our kids there, and that is Treasure Lake. Working with the Department of Labor, the only way they're gonna allow our tribe to be at Congress to assume the Department of Labor property is we're gonna have to do another job corps. Well, that didn't work, right? Look at the buildings out there. They're beautiful, and they're just going to pot. Martina, you work there. The thing is, wonderful location. It will be about a 2-year process away, Doctor. We've also looked at, what was it? Was it Dunbar? No, not Dunbar, but the old theological school. Douglas. There's structures all over. What does it take? It takes us being proactive and finding this place for our children. And not on a shoestring. Not on no shoestring. So this is our first step. First steps. Meetings, talk, but this is the first steps to start it. Yes, Tinker.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Sean Colchick came to my house and he was needing assistance on trying to identify an individual that was involved in, there was a group of people that got into the Treasure Lake Core buildings. Those buildings are trashed out.
Are they now?
They have gotten in there and ripped out all the electrical wiring.
Oh, gosh. There you go.
Plumbing.
I warned them that about 4 months ago. It would have been turnkey. Turn it over to a federally recognized tribe. Let us care for it. And then when this would happen, it could be easy. But of course, when you leave things alone, it goes to trash. So.
Yeah, they got in there and they just
scrap that
put
one.
old holes in the walls and whatever.
Oh, my goodness. So,
But all they're wanting today is to get a resolution in support of starting
yes.
a charter school or charter schools, correct?
Start with the charter school. Don't think big yet. Go small. Work with it. Grow with it.
I know, but they keep saying schools. But anyway, it's just to get the support and backing of the Comanche Nation.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then vote.
Okay, we have whereas motion and we need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ritter. Business Committee, all those in favor of resolution number 111-18, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? It has passed, Mr. P.B. Wardy.
That was 110-18.
110, oh, my bad. 110-18 for the record. All right. 111-18, that was tabled. All right. We go to ball and dice, am I correct? Yeah, we did. All right. The state of Oklahoma, we're going to a gaming compact in 2020, so they threw all the tribes a little, hey, we're going to give you this. I don't know if it's going to make money, but, if we attempt to do it, we got to have a resolution. It's called ball. What is ball? Roulette. All right, the ball goes around and bing, 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 you're a winner. Then it's called dice. You can play that one game. You know that game, that one. Craps, right? Okay, so What we're doing, we're adding, accepting the state's offer to amend so we can have ball and dice. And that's what I'm going to read to the committee. All right. On April 10th, 2018, the governor of the state of Oklahoma signed into law House Bill 3375, amending and expanding the definition of covered games. And what they're saying is the use of table games involving a wheel, ball, or dice within the definitions of on-house bank table games. Whereas the amendment does not alter the previously approved exclusivity payments percentage for non-house bank table games. Whereas the compact as amended will continue to authorize Class 3 gaming for the tribe, continue to provide for a zone of exclusivity, continue to substantially limit non-tribal gaming, and continue to require certain offsets of the state permits non-tribal gaming operations to expand in violation of the compact's exclusivity provisions. Whereas the Comanche Nation finds it to be in the best interest of the tribe and its members to accept the state of Oklahoma's offer to amend the compact to include the operation of wheel, ball, and dice games. Now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Nation Business Committee hereby accepts the state of Oklahoma's offer to amend the compact to include the operation of wheel, ball, and dice, which such acceptance being deemed effective on the date the state's offer becomes effective. Be it further resolved that the chairman of the tribe is hereby authorized to execute all documents necessary for the tribe to accept the state of Oklahoma's offer to amend the compact. Business Committee, Resolution Number 11218 to include ball, dice, wheel, ball, dice is on the table. I need a motion to move forward. It seems like the law firm that wrote this all up for all tribes is Hobbs, Strauss, Dean, and Walker. Calling for a motion. Second call.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Red Elk, second to continue.
I got a question for the attorney. Will this affect our, with the Class 3, Class 2 gaming?
No, it won't affect, it's just added to the scope of gaming under the current compact, ball and dice, roulette and dice.
I second it.
Seconded by Poway. All those in favor of resolution number 112-18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed, same sign. I don't think the state, they want to get money from us, anything that we do. Card games, whoever plays cards, they accept the fee. So I don't know how we're going to work out the deal on the wheel, the ball, and the dice. You got to pay them a quarter to play the game. State wins,
It's going to be expensive.
I know, right? So I don't even know if we'll go there.
Yeah. It's
A
gonna be-
lot of tribes aren't even
I
wanting to
don't
do
think
it.
it's going to be cost effective. I don't
Right.
think it's smart.
Yep. All righty. We have tabled resolution number 11318. Is our ED here? No? Okay. All right.
Okay, yes.
This guy about Bernie D. Howell, decedent, can we go ahead and talk about him, Dennis? The guy in Howell, Texas? Or Ector County, Texas? Oh, yeah, okay. Go ahead and fill us in, or do we need to be in private on that?
I can tell you.
Actually, there was,
They were corresponding with me, and that's where this came from.
Okay?
There was an estate in West Texas where the Comanche Nation was given a working interest in oil and gas.
Can't hear you.
There was a state in West Texas where the Comanche Nation was given a working interest in oil and gas properties. They are losing money, and the estate asked us if they're losing money, if we wanted to basically forego our interest, and that's all this is so that we don't have to write a check once the estate's closed, because it's a working interest, not a mineral interest. And working interest holders have to pay their share of the expenses.
Oh, boy.
So.
Well, how much arrearage are we now since?
Well, we're not in any because the estate is the one that's on the hook. The minute the estate closes and there's distribution, then those owners of that property will become obligated. So,
Do we know why this lady left us this?
love the Comanche Nation. So.
Do you know what the share is?
It's very, very small. but it's still a part, it's a property. I have it in my email, I don't have it right here, so I don't got it, it's very, very small. So at the end of the day.
Speak small, $100 a month or what?
No, I think our income, no, it's a negative.
Well, I get that, but if it was profit.
Yeah, it's a few hundred a month, but I don't have the exact in front of me. I know what the percentage was.
All right.
But that's why we're doing this, so we don't have to write a check.
All right. Resolution number 11418. The Comanche Nation is a named beneficiary under the will of Bernie D. Howell, decedent, probated in cause number 22812-CCL2 in Ector County, Texas. And whereas that the Comanche Nation has not in any way acted to accept any of such properties or benefits therefrom, and now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes the chairman, before I go to that point, if we are given something as a nation, it belongs to the people, correct?
That's correct, Chairman, but the reason why we held off approving this before is because it's not a property right. All this is an interest in a working interest in a company. So because it's not a real mineral interest or a trustee, we had to figure that out in the Non-Intercourse Act. And once we figured that out, that it was a working interest and a lease, then we were in a position where we could disclaim it. And so that's why it's set up that way.
All right, well, hold on before we go to this. I'm looking at the disclaimer. It says here, as a result of a disclaimer by College of the Ozarks and a disclaimer by the Texas Wounded Warriors Foundation of their interests specifically bequeathed in paragraph, all of the interests that would otherwise pass under paragraph now as a result of the foregoing disclaimers. All right. So this Wounded Warrior Foundation, is that where the Native American, where we come into effect here? Was she a part of this or what?
Right, it's a residuary estate, if you read down, of which the Comanche Nation is a beneficiary. And so we're a beneficiary of a residuary estate.
All right, and the Wounded Warrior is a national group specific to a tribe.
You know this for a fact, right?
Yes, because that contributes something to them.
Okay.
We are effectively declining this because we don't want the interest because it would cost us.
All right. Well, we do know we don't ever sell anything we have, so. Okay, now therefore be it resolved that the Comanche Business Committee hereby authorizes the chairman to sign the disclaimer with the understanding that it is irrevocable and unequivocal and constitutes a complete and unqualified refusal to accept any right, title, and interest in any of said properties of interest and said properties passing under the decedent's will.
Descendants.
Okay.
Descendants.
Resolution number 114-18. I do need a motion to continue.
I make the motion.
Motion made, resolution number 114-18. Need a second to continue.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Riddell. All those in favor on resolution number 114-18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those in opposition, same sign. All right. We are down to the last one, and we will go to our election coordinator. All right. Resolution number 115-18, whereas Article 5, Tribal Council, Section 7, subject to the approval of the Secretary of the Interior or his authorized representative, where applicable, the authority of the Comanche Tribal Council shall include and be exclusive with respect to the following. D, to authorize the expenditures of funds which may be deposited to the exclusive credit to the Comanche Nation and of funds which may be deposited to the joint credit of the Kiowa, Comanche, and Apache tribes. And whereas Election 2018 of the Comanche Nation did pass line item KCA operating budget of $270,000 by a 66.52% margin. And whereas, for clarity of this line item, this $270,000 is a drawdown from funds kept in federal trust by the OST. The fund is composed of Kiowa drawdown of $90,000, Apache drawdown of $90,000, and Comanche drawdown of $90,000, which comes to a total of $270,000. All of you that didn't know that, that's how it works. I didn't know that for a long time, but that's how it works. Yeah? Now therefore, be it resolved, today, the Comanche Nation Business Committee does vote that this line item did pass by the Tribal Council and affirms to the KCA Executive Director that this resolution will serve as confirmation as such. Resolution number 115-18 needs a motion to continue.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by the Secretary of Treasurer. Need a second?
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Odyssey. All those in favor of resolution number 115-18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ms. Amber, what we have here is a resolution that was passed in 2002. And this resolution was called the Petition Ordinance. The late Johnny Walkway signed it, and the late Thomas Chivity attested it. There was an amendment to our Constitution that called for 10% of tribal council members on different things. And for some reason, there was an agreed moratorium during those amendments, but there was never a resolution for a moratorium of petition. There is no resolution on record, none. To act on consensus, telephone calls, and texts, that ain't legal. So, this petition ordinance, the way I see it, is status quo. I don't know why we need to even change it.
There's several things in here.
But tell me what you gotta change.
All right, let me go through and I'll show you all the errors that are in there.
Oh, okay.
There are several errors within the ordinance that need to be corrected before we can move further. In my opinion, the ordinance is unconstitutional. It goes against the changes that were made recently. On that front page, I wrote a little letter and kind of explained the changes that I feel need to be made. Gosh, I don't know where to start.
I do. I'm like Eleanor. I think the tribal council ought to be involved with this. But at the same time, you've got section 1, section 2, section 3.
There's everywhere. On the
Section
very
4,
first
section
page,
5,
the
section
very
6,
first.
section 7.
There's also a copy of the ordinance in your packet. If you notice on the very first page, the very first paragraph, it talks about how Comanche Indian Tribes Constitution, Article V, well, which is 5, Tribal Council, Article 7, vacancies and removal of office, and Article 10, Bill of Rights. That alone is incorrect. Article 7 is elections. That should be Article 8, vacancies and removals. Article 8 is Bill of Rights, and it should be Article 11 for amendments. The Bill of Rights, the only thing it states in there for petitions is Section 5, where it states that we can't deny them the right to petition. So it's just starting out the ordinance, the very first paragraph is wrong. This whole thing needs to be updated before we can move forward. Issues that I have, things in there like the 90 days. If they're gonna require 10%, is 90 days enough time for somebody to collect that many signatures? Another issue that I personally have, there's a 10-day period that I have to certify a petition. With just 200 signatures, sometimes 300, it would take me the full 8 days. So if someone's having to collect over 1,000 signatures, 10 days is nowhere near enough time to process a petition. It also states, as far as the signature pages, it says they can have 200, they can have pages for 200 signatures, no more than 300 signatures, which is 15 pages total. And that's normally what they're issued when they take out a petition, is 15 pages. If they need more, they can request it. But again, with 10%, that's not even enough to cover. I think I calculated for the 10% of what we have right now, I think I calculated a person would need 85 pages to collect enough signatures. And this petition ordinance is what I have to go by to verify, what they have to go by to make sure they're doing it correctly. And the whole thing, it doesn't match the Constitution now. And I just feel like the whole thing needs to be updated. But then my question is, who's going to update it? Is it me? Is it the committee? Are the petitions even still staying with enrollment?
That's been the problem. The way it is in my book and constitutional values, the Bureau of Indian Affairs has a trust obligation to us. Talking to Regional Director Schott and to Deputy Director Bruner and to the agency, Ms. Roberson, they would agree to do petitions that, if this body here approves that, for us to have time to create something for the tribal council. And if anybody can agree on the tribal council, to bring it to the tribal council for approval. So, solution. Solution is, we gotta go to work on it.
Yes.
I don't think it needs to be an enrollment. Enrollment is a Constitution program. It's a constitutional program. Should be totally autonomous to anything on this body here. Also, another constitutional program is what? Is our actual elections. Needs to be autonomous to this group also. In the meanwhile, if Comanches need to redress what's going on, where do they go? There you go. We got a problem.
Right.
So, solution, and we're in open session. You're in front of your people today, Amber. You handle all the folks that come in. You guys have done a really good job.
Rescind that resolution that changed all of that.
Yep.
Make the rest of the,
Rescind it.
rescind it. And then if you want to work on it or whatever, then, but you need more input than what is there now. I mean, as it has been tried to be changed. Just rescind the resolution that created the 10%
That is,
signatures.
well, that's an amendment.
That is not letting me have the right, or anyone have the right to take out a petition. That's my civil right to do that. If you can't take that away from me or anyone else,
That is true.
that entire resolution that made this change needs to be rescinded.
That's exactly what I was saying, promulgate. You guys think that that word gives you the right to make decisions on our behalf,
But if our behalf doesn't want it,
but you can't do that.
Solution today,
rescind.
we can rescind, and, honestly, it's no effect anyway, Ms. Hockney, due to the fact that it's not even, you can't even follow it. You can't even follow it, So yeah, we can rescind it, then we're just aloof to petition. But then we're unconstitutional because it says we have the right to petition. And as United States citizens, we have more than the right to petition. But we got to find a solution. I say today, if somebody could promulgate, if somebody could please bring a motion that says the Bureau will handle our petition, it'll be impartial, it'll be done right, it'll be done on their terms until we can get to a point of order. I would hope somebody entertains it.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
I tried to take out a recall petition, and, after you changed, it required 1,200 or so signatures. But our Constitution still reads that if I wanted to take out a petition to amend
Yes.
the Constitution,
Yes.
all I need is 200 signatures. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, because we need to take away, we need to make it clear that you guys can't make law. You can come up, you can make up something like you've
Promulgate. You
done
can
over and
promulgate.
over and you can promulgate, but you can't
Can't
pass.
direct law.
You know, you can't pass law.
Especially if it's against the Constitution.
Right. So much of what you've done is unconstitutional. And especially in regard to the qualifications of the candidates. You know, you did 2 secretarial elections without even asking us. But then when it came to the qualifications, you brought it to us down there at General Council, knowing that you should have gone through a secretarial election to begin with. So, that's not even correct. So, and that's an issue now going through that kangaroo court. You guys created a mess. And so hopefully when this new people come in, we can get something straight. And the old ones are gone.
Okay, to add to what Ms. Eleanor just stated, she is correct. There are 3 ways to take a petition, and those are all listed on the first page of the petition ordinance. But there's an issue with that as well. The three reasons, the first one is to call a special meeting, just to call a special meeting, sorry. The second one is to recall or remove a member of the committee. The third, it states for the chairman to call a special meeting to submit amendments. But when you skim through the petition ordinance, on the last 3 pages, everything in the ordinance is for all petitions across the board.
Right.
But when you get to section 6, it states recalls. That explains how to handle the recall portion of the petition. The very next page, section 7, special tribal council meeting for other. But if you read it, it mentions article 5, section 3. So that would be the other one. Then it stops. There's nothing at all in this ordinance that discusses a petition to make an amendment. There's nothing in here. There's no guidelines for me to follow, for them to follow. It stops right there. So, but it's mentioned on this very first page.
Your recommendations are spot on. Everything's all over the place. So solution today. Members have the right to petition. You are a United States citizen. You have the right to petition. I'll make the motion. I make a motion that the Bureau of Indian Affairs, through the regional director, Mr. James Schock, anybody that is of the Comanche Nation can make petition with the regional director upon his approval. That's my motion.
Yeah, and you do that, why? Why? Because
Until we get this correct.
Why? Because this body can't do their job. That's why you have to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm moving on that for our people to have address, redress. If you want to change the amendment, you have every right. You have every right. But to follow the petition as it is now, with all the other rancor going on, it's just almost impossible.
So I can't go and get a petition to amend the Constitution.
Right here.
I can't do that.
It
Yeah,
comes
it's
to
not in
this.
our law, but someone did come forward and ask that, and I advised them to go to the Bureau. And as far as I know, they are in the process of taking one through the Bureau. And I don't know their guidelines on their end. I don't know
They're
how that
waiting for
works.
this body here to approve that they can
Oh
until we
my
get
God,
this.
That's ridiculous.
It's a mess. It's all over the place.
Rescind the resolution.
We can rescind. And
Yeah,
we
but these
can't- we
guys
can't-
won't.
I know, we can rescind and we redo the whole thing. We can rescind today and until we get this redone and given to the tribal council for approval. Like you said, Eleanor, yeah, we promulgate, but the direction is tribal council. It is. Tribal council is the rule. We are a people's organization. Since 1967, that has not changed, not once. Not once has it changed.
Y'all can't do anything.
That's my motion. Need a second.
I think we need to table it.
You can't table it because you can't table it, or you're calling for an invisible moratorium
Y'all can't do
that
nothing.
continues on.
one thing that I'd like to say is that we voted you guys in there, so, you know, we have to take, if there's something you're doing wrong, we have to take some of the responsibility ourselves because we voted you
Yeah,
in
because we
there.
voted you in.
I mean, it's not just you guys that done it. I mean, you know, if that's the way it is, but I don't see it like this.
Well, the petition was passed by the general council.
Yeah.
The general council doesn't change it. We can't change it.
Why are you doing it?
We put it to the vote.
Second call on the motion. Need a second.
The alternative, what you're saying is to rescind, as Phyllis says, Doc me, 1602, right?
Yes.
Rescind that, and then work on the other.
And until then,
Yes.
people have to have a point of order for addressing and redressing what they believe is a wrong in the nation.
Well, I think in the interim, and I don't want to give anybody hard work, but I think we have to resort to the court. We take it to the court in the interim, but I think it's a good business to redo this whole ordinance.
Bob, you're the one that
until
always,
then, rescind it.
Bob, you profess that we have a trust obligation by the Bureau.
We do.
We do. They have a trust obligation to us. And that gentleman, these gentlemen, and that lady did say, for your citizens to have address and redress of a grievance or to create an amendment, we'll be more than happy to oblige that.
Well, I understand that, and I'm strong about duties of the
That's the
federal
solution.
government. But there's also the responsibility, I mean, there is the inherent right of a nation to assume its own business. And that's what we've been trying to do for years. We've been attempting to be self-sufficient, self-determining in our business. And that keeps the federal government out. Yes, they have a duty to us, they have a responsibility to us, and we should never waive that. But when it comes to doing internal affairs, we should assume those. That is self-determination, and that is what has been granted to us by the educational, that act in Congress of self-determination. And I believe in that strongly. Tribes should take on their business and keep state, federal, county, all of them out of it.
I'm sorry, sir, this recent impasse has set us back 20 years.
I understand that, but I understand also that it's not the best of times. It's a tough one. But we have a court.
We're not a tale of two
And I
cities
think
here.
they can go to the court.
We are here to do business today, and I'm asking for a solution.
I'm giving one. Let's rescind this.
Rescind
We
it.
can rescind
And then let's work on the ordinance.
Okay,
Yes.
but when are you gonna bring this ordinance forward?
You can start on it Monday.
No, well-
Rescind it today.
Yeah.
Well, the rescinding does nothing, Phyllis, because it's a moot point anyway. You can't even follow it.
Yeah, but let's get it off the books.
Yes.
All right, call for it.
Make the motion to rescind 1602.
I'll second it.
And that we go to work creating the new ordinance.
Parliamentary rule, you don't vote in executive session, but in parliamentary rule of 2017, the chairman can second. So, I second that. All those in favor to rescind and build a new petition ordinance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Better yet, better go to a voice vote. There.
Need a start time and an end time. Target date.
Susan Cochran?
No.
Robert Tippecani? Yes. In favor of the motion. Jonathan Polway? No. Eddie Odyssey? No. Ronald Redout?
Yes.
Clyde Narcomi?
No.
Because it serves them.
Yeah.
And it puts the petition around everybody else.
That's right.
I think we need to look into this further before we make a decision.
With that said, Dennis, can we handle your business some other time?
I wanted to bring one thing up before
What
as a
is
new
it?
business.
Hold on, Jarvis, what is it?
Actually,
What
I
is
need
it?
a couple of them answered, and the rest of them we can handle some other time. But I need, and
If they were in executive
Are they
session,
private?
is there
Are they
five?
private?
actually, yes.
Private matters?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Okay, I want to ask for somebody to call for an adjournment to this meeting.
I was on the agenda.
Well, wait a minute, I don't go
I was
to,
taking off.
well, sir, you're not on there. Okay, we're gonna move to executive session. Can I get somebody to entertain a motion to go to executive session?
Before you go to do that, I just got one thing I want to bring up. It's about the grasshopper situation. Can they cut, the churches included? Can we get the churches included into that grasshopper situation?
I don't know, Jimmy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you know, we have churches out there, but they're not rich. They're just barely hanging in there.
I think we need to talk to the director of that program because I mean, they serve so many people I don't know about adding because they already tried to add other things. Can we meet with them and discuss it with them and see if they can add that to their round?
And we can do it by application from the church itself.
And we'll meet with the director and discuss it. How about that?
No.
Because I don't want to throw more on them if they can't complete what they've got now with the elders. They're trying to stay on them, so we can meet with them and see if they can add that. How about
Well, the only ones that go to church are the elders mostly anyway.
All right.
Has anyone done anything about the honoring the request or the issues that over 150 people voted on to be addressed? Has anyone done anything with those resolutions?
I'll second the motion to go into executive session.
No one?
Phyllis,
What?
speak to what, say that again?
Has anyone, especially those sitting up there at that table, done anything to address the wishes of 150 people in assembly that wanted to get, hopefully, things addressed and corrected and be fair?
Number one, when we were at assembly, we have the right to assembly. Nobody can take that right from us. Nobody can take the right of our speech.
Okay, but
Nobody can take the right of our conscience. All right? Well, this group recognized what was done? No. They didn't want us to have chairs. All right? Okay, now I went to the Bureau. Are they going to recognize it? No. Well, the chief of police recognized it? No. So what do we have? As Mr. Red Oak alluded to, we have disrespect. We're supposed to do business, and it's not nothing personal. This is business. All I hear is rolling of eyes, a lot of sighs, and that is not business. We are here to do business, Phyllis.
But you're also here to at least respect
Yes.
the wishes of
Yes.
a majority of people that usually come to general council meetings.
I have it on record. It's all been notarized. And if we can't move, we might just have to pull it out and go to eminent domain or something.
But just remember, you have the right to assemble.
Yes, you do.
And if the CBC doesn't want to come in here with you, then you've assembled, regardless of whether they come in or not. And that's all it is.
Well, I'm just trying to be respectful
They don't
of
have
the
to be
written
there
law.
for general
Even
council
you
if
can-
there's a
you
forum
can-
that.
I'm trying to be
From the
respectful
general
to
council
the
thing.
written law,
From
the
the
written
general
law.
council thing, from what we had over there Saturday, you can originate ideas and push those ideas into a formulated plan and then execute.
I don't
So-
understand why these people are not more talkative in open session. They're very talkative in closed session.
Because they're crooks and they're just.
But it's just, like you said, it's on the right to assemble. You have the right to assemble. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else.
I don't want to be
Because you did go
frustrated.
before the-
I do not want to be frustrated. We have to literally work together for the benefit of the nation. There are so many gaming issues, tax issues. Man, we just heard about the issues of our lands. There's so many issues where business has to happen. We cannot have secret meetings. We can't have mass texts. We can't have emails. Article 6, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Read it. It says that we are only legal right here, or a specially called meeting right here. Mr. Red Oak alluded to it. He stands on it. I stand on it. But we're not having this happen. We're having a TA ordered by one person. Cancel the CBC meeting. Cancel this. You can't do that. Now make the motion and resolution in a legal meeting.
And
Then
why
it rules.
Why
It's the
won't they
law.
recognize it?
I don't
They
know.
recognize
I
Yes, because she called a number of, when she was interim chairman, she called a number of general council meetings on her own, and then we passed a
I had
resolution.
2 other CBC members on that request.
But she passed a bogus resolution saying that she had power to act on her own. And that's how she got rid of the election board.
Well, we are going to go entertain some private matters on realty. I wish I could answer everybody, and everything we're going to talk to today has been, y'all seen it, okay? So there it is. So we got a motion to adjourn, we got to, not adjourn, but to go executive session. There's no voting in executive session. When we come out of executive session, when we come out of executive session, we'll be live streamed again if anything else happens.
Economic development on the
All
agenda.
those in favor of saying, of going to executive session, please signify by saying aye.
Well, we got 2 questions here. Let the people speak.
Yeah, I like to be put on executive session for economic development. I was taken off, I don't know why.
They pick and
I was
choose
on
who they
there.
want to let speak.
That's what I'm asking, to be on the executive session for economic development.
There's
No,
new
if you got,
business,
I
sir?
think if you got a question, I don't care, if it's good, bad, or indifferent, I think you got a right to say something to us. So let these guys speak.
I like the executive session, economic development.
Let's
just quit having. Or now, or anything else.
We gotta get this taken care of. All right, Gabby, we'll listen to you in executive session. All right, all those in favor to go to executive session, please signify by saying aye. All right, executive session. We'll take about a 10-minute break.